Run, step, bounce. You know what I'm saying?
Classic.
Bro, it's 2022. We did that song. What year we do that?
98.
So 98, we originally.
Because we had.
Go ahead and bust a freestyle, give people a little sample.
The motivator, I spray tracks like an activator. Cause some rappers ain't fair like I made her. I need a no-hitter when I rhyme, I'm unusual. I might throw a change up like I was Stan Musial. A double header with the Curry, no amateurs, just amateurs. Give us a shot and let us tour. No legal matters, just sign the dotted line. 10 G's and a cribbo, that'll be fine.
Yeah, give them a call, check out their stuff, it's in Accessory Booth.
What up, though? Welcome to the Hood Smoker Podcast, the hottest #1 podcast based out of Detroit, Michigan. And now, with your hosts, Jay Gutta, Brother King X, Blatonio Todd, and the rest of the Hood Smoker Squad. We don't do no Vlad stuff. We don't do no Adam stuff. We keep packing in the legends, respect them, and keep adding up. So pack a blunt or two, maybe grab a brew and a snack for you, and leave behind your attitude and get ready as we snap into the Hood Smoker Podcast.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Damn, it's been a week since we've been on. We missed Wednesday night show with special guest. You heard that last track playing, but that was the special guest. It was a big plan. But you know the homie Blatonio Todd, big shit. It was popping this week. A lot of shit popping. And the explosion. Oh, man, I'm going to tell y'all about that. Because I don't want old bitch boy to think, you know what I'm saying. But we ain't about that. But I'm going to show you a couple screenshots of what this dude, because this dude talking about... Dog, he got slapped in the face with a motherfucking cock. What can you say? You know what I'm saying? He caught a glizzy to the chizzy. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Tony Sunshine. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog. You can't be gangster after that. You just can't. It just doesn't happen. It's not possible, dog. You can't come back from that. You can't come back from getting a glizzy to the chizzy. You know what I'm saying? But we got something special for him. We had something planned for Wednesday, but as y'all know, you might have heard, Blatonio Todd flew in. Well, he actually flew into Toledo. We came and swooped him up in Ohio and shit. It was in Detroit. There was the show Wednesday with the homie Brother Marquise. Salute to Brother Marquise. And Dice turned it out. And you never guessed who else was on stage. Motherfucking Lopez, damn it. Was up there as the hype man. Motherfucking, can you believe that shit? But first off, you know that track we was just listening to? You can find that on Blatonio Todd's page, y'all. Like I told y'all, he does work. You know what I'm saying? Well, he went back. This is Dice Warren from my arrest. You might have remember the original video. Here's a new video. It's still got some of the original stuff. But Blatonio Todd, I said we. Blatonio Todd, where he is we. Hood Smokers Podcast family. What up, though, Wicked Solitude? I see you, homie. Make sure you share this shit around like it. You know we getting shadow banned. What up, though? Southwest CC, my wife, I love you, baby. Southwest always in the building. You know what I'm saying? Detroit, baby. It's all for the love of hip-hop, though. We got Hush in the building tonight. But we're going to get into this new video. We got to play it. Dice, Warren from our arrest. And let's say it's the revamped version by Blatonio. Imagine that. Shout out to homie Dice. Yeah, shout out to homie Dice. I actually seen him the other day. Much love to the homie Dice, dog. Keep doing your thing. He got some new heat on the way. Dice will be in the building, you know what I'm saying? That was a surprise, Wednesday special guest that we were supposed to be doing this shit. That was Dice, you know what I'm saying? We had the homie Dice. What up, though, Lower Raptor? I see you, homie. Thanks, D. Cochran, for the shares. What Wicked Solitude, Southwest CC, everybody tuning in. Make sure you hit like I said, due to our content. YouTube kind of shadow banning us, you know what I'm saying? And it's Detroit. They gotta hate on Detroit, you know what I'm saying? They always, even when we win, I said that in a rhyme with KDT. Shout out to the Mad Butcher too, Smoking Joe. Killers don't talk. Shh. But Brother King X will be joining me any minute now. And Blatonio Todd's on the plane. back to Arizona. He'll probably be tapping in. His plane came in around 7:30, so around towards the end of the show, Blatonio Todd will probably be getting be at the airport, and he'll tap in and say what up though. But yeah, he won't be joining us tonight due to that. But you know what else? We got some footage, y'all. We got some motherfucking footage, damn it. We got some other footage, fucking look, just a couple little shorts, you know what I'm saying? And I want to pull up some pictures, show y'all some pictures. I was waiting for Brother King X to tap in to pull up some of the pictures. Brother King X is in it. From Blatonio's Todd's trip here in Detroit. But you know he's going to have some dope ass motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's Blatonio, come on, man. He going to have some dope ass fucking footage. We going to put up a dope ass video. We going to upload it. And like I said, Tony Cock, we didn't forget about you. We've been busy working. That's what we do here on the Hood Smokers Podcast. We doing work. We headed to the top. You know what I'm saying? We headed to the top. Shout out to homie Black C from RBL Posse. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all our homies in the Bay Area. Salute family from Detroit. But yeah, where's it? Oh yeah, shout out to homie Cuban Link, man. Let me get to I'm gonna play.
Yo,
this.
Charlie. Charlie Rock. Charlie Rock.
Shout out Charlie
What
Rock.
up, homie? There's been a lot of things going on, man. You know, kind of fast and all that, man. But I want to give a shout out to you. Because regardless.
Yeah, shout out Cuban Link. Make sure you check him out. Oh yeah, this is what I look. Just these ain't even shots. Fat Joe he tightening up for Fat Joe and Puffy. I'm just saying. Yes, sir. Hey. But yeah, we got some footage. What else we got over here? Let's see if we got some of oh yeah, we got right here Dice with no pants. Let's go. Shout out to homie Dice. Yeah, actually, No Pants went up there and hyped up Dice. You know what I'm saying? Up at the Sting. It was late though, man. They ain't go on stage till like 1 o'clock in the morning, man. On a Thursday night, 2 live Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, shout out to homie Charlie Rock. Shout out to the BX, man. Shout out to the BX. Shout out to New York. Let's jump back over here. Let's play some music by Hush. Hush is coming right here. Man, if y'all don't know who Hush is, if y'all ain't never heard of the Ruckus from Detroit, man, they was making moves. I mean, I'm talking about, like, they was helping Eminem. They was kicking in doors with Eminem. Let's just put it like that. But we'll talk all about all that. You know what I'm saying? We get Hush. We just want to talk about, he's done a lot for the city. He's Detroit to the core. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about Detroit hip-hop without talking about Hush. You know what I'm saying? But we got him joining us live tonight at 9. Right now, let's jump into this video. Hush is coming by Hush. And the link for Hush's music is down there in the description. Make sure, like I always tell y'all, go subscribe, go do like that, smash like, show some love. You know what it is. Let's get it. On the Hood Smokers playing for a long time. We're gonna talk about it. We got Hush tapping in at 9 p.m. And you know the routine. You know how it goes. Let's jump into another track by the homie Hush. Let's just jump right back into another one. Let's go. And another one. Here's another one. He got a movie on here. Out cold, man. He got a lot of shit going on. Right here, Hush. Sprinklers featuring Monica Blair. Let's get it. On the Hood. I mean, Hush made major moves in the hip hop game. He's definitely a Detroit legend. Real talk.
Tell them what we're getting ready to do.
What are we getting ready to do?
Chest out.
Run through the automatic
The Hood Smokers Podcast 189, baby. Let's go.
Oh, where'd that come from? We gotta go this way.
You gotta go back now.
Go back through it.
We can't.
Here we go.
All right, I wanted to pull a little bit of pull some shit up for y'all. Hold on, I gotta search it up right here. We go right here. Check this out right here. All right, look, we got some pictures I wanted to share with y'all on the Hood Smokers Podcast exclusive. You ain't gonna see these. I hope Blatonio has a safe flight. You know what I'm saying? He's in the air right now, y'all. So y'all wish Blatonio a safe flight. Why ain't the pictures get? Let's see. I know I sent some pictures over here. The word. I want to show y'all because we got something specially planned for this motherfucker. I'm gonna have to send them back to him because I don't see them. I'm gonna have to send these pictures back. But I got some pictures I want to show y'all, just kind of like the beginning and like what's going on and shit with this dude and shit with you know what I'm talking about, that motherfucker Tony Cox, the dude, the washed up R&B singer that got slapped in the face, not once, not twice, but 3 times with a cop. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Cuban Link. Shout out Goya if you tuned in. Shout out to Panda Chop. Make sure you check them out. Real talk. Yeah. 6-4 DJ Los. Shout out DJ Los. His brother Marquise. Well, he was in Detroit. Let's check it out.
In about a week. Are y'all sure y'all ready for that old school 2-line? Cruise shit. Come on, DJ, let's go.
Okay, guys, you ready to go? I'm ready to go. Come on, now, take this motherfucker.
Fuck her up. I know y'all know the words.
Shout out, brother Marquis.
Y'all know the words. Y'all sing along with this degrading shit. Let's go.
Marquis still got
a freak without warning. Yeah, I don't want to go home. Goddammit, y'all making me feel so motherfucking good. Happy birthday to the birthday girl. What's up, honey? Y'all give yourself a round of applause in this motherfucker, black people. You deserve it, goddammit. Yes.
brother Marquis in the building in Detroit, y'all. Marquis for coming to Detroit. It was a dope ass night, and like I said, you're gonna see all types of stuff. Now I want to send some pictures. I want to share with y'all some pictures of kind of some screenshots of somebody who was in. Oh yeah, Mr. Go-To was in the building with Blatonio, Todd in Detroit, Southwest Detroit, stand up. Detroit stand up, making the ad break like 2008. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing out here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all we was working. We was working, motherfuckers. We was working. Tony Sunshine, we ain't forget. But we celebrating Detroit hip-hop tonight. We got Hush in the building tonight. If y'all just tapping in, make sure you share this shit around here, like, because you know YouTube, because of our content, they shadow banning us. I got the weed on deck, though. Don't think I ain't smoking. Don't think I ain't smoking. And this is some strong. What is this? This is some, it's called some garlic cookies. But we got some other shit. I got some other weed out in the other room with Southwest CC and shit. I'm sure she's going to come in here and blaze. You know what I'm saying? It's a Southwest party. Yes, sir. But yeah, we got Hush tonight. You know what I'm saying? But, what? Oh, yeah. Let me show you some more. Shout out to homie Dice. DJ Los. Right there. Had to take Blatonio to the casino up at the Motor City Casino. You know what I'm saying? You come to Detroit, you got to hit the Motor City, man. Hit the Motor City Casino. I know people say Greektown all the time. No shots at Greektown or MGM. But for me personally, Motor City is the spot. You know what I'm saying? But shout out DJ Los. As you can see, there's Los and Blatonio. Todd flew up here from Arizona. You know what I'm saying? All three in the D. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. I got some pictures and shit I want to share with y'all. I was waiting for Brother King X to tap in. Brother King X, if you out there, tap in, homie. Here, let me catch these pictures. Let me see. Where's the sound at, yo? That's when we Dice, Blatonio, Gutta, Butcher. I don't know what the sound after it.
Y'all ready for that? Yo, what?
Dice was gonna be that guest tonight, but as you can see why, Dice wasn't that guest that night. We was working, man. We was busy. We apologize. We gonna make it up. And you know Dice gonna be on the show, man. Shout out to the homie Dice. That's the homie. That's the big homie, the OG. Yeah, let me go ahead and check out Panda Chop if you haven't already. It's short right here. But make sure you check out Panda Chop News. Shout out to homie Panda Chop. But he's bringing you the real. Let's go. Look here.
And the war of words between Cuban Link and Tony Sunshine continue. Tony ended up taking down his post after he posted a video of Cuban Link getting punched with some weird commentary, but Cuban Link wasted no time in firing back at Tony. Man, roll the clip.
Tony Baloney, you are so phony. You are phonier than my accent and my actually acting in this video right here. But let me just say to you, little pompous guy, little corny guy, little peak squeak, Pebble Beach, bum bum, drug addict. Let me just tell you this for a second. You got smacked with a cock, homie. You cannot come back. There's rules to this shit. Once a cock hits your face 3 times, you're definitely out. 2 times, you get the out. Anyway, 1 time, you are pulled. You get booted out wherever place they see you at. 3 times the charm is to ring the alarm. You gotta put this dude in spaceship and blow him out of here. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do that shit. I'm gonna fly you up to the skies and drop you off in Mars somewhere. It has to be a nice home for you, the sucking planet. Yes. Anyway, you chose to put a post up. The only problem with that post is that guy that you are praising and everything, that's the same guy that represents the group of the guys that knocked you the out in the playhouse. Remember that, Tony? They had you under the green bin. You was like this. And I was like this. And remember, I got stabbed because I was helping you. And you got smacked with a cop.
With this video, Cuban included the caption, "You know when you realize how much pussy a person is when they use other guys to try to justify their side. Laugh my ass off. He takes after his stepdad, Joey Cap Beluga. Do y'all understand how much of a poor excuse for a man this punk is? This bitch dude is bigging up the dude that rolls with the crew that knocked the singing notes out this chump's head literally and laid him out underneath a green garbage bin in the BX. And yes, I got stabbed for him that same day for trying to protect him and save his life as a real homie. And look at what they do. They rather praise the ones that bullied and hurt them because it must be fear, but it's also the hate he has towards that. Must be that much for him to be sucking the wee-wee of all my enemies, especially this one. Laugh my ass off. Wow, your soul is done, son. Your values ain't worth spit. Your morals have no meaning. You are a worst piece of ish I ever seen. And I never thought I'd say this, even worse than Joe. I must say you took the cake, kid. You made #1. Congratulations, Judas, for you showed yourself like I asked. 2 prayer hands, 100 hot dog. After Cuban put up his post, Tony responded saying, "Everyone is fake and you the only real one on the planet, right? Ho ass dude, you stay dry snitching and dropping dimes here and there like a broken little piggy bank because that's the guy who represents the crew that blah 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 blah. I don't know what you talking about, rat, but it sounds to me like you're saying they put hands on you twice in one lifetime then and you did nothing. Again, I've been clean 12 years, sucker, and ain't afraid to talk about my past addiction and journey. But you are in denial about your addiction and we know it. We see it in your swag and mannerisms, boy. If I was a rat in an internet hole like you, I would put out these DM conversations between you and them females you owe $250 for the white you be sniffing. And boy, they are some hilarious DMs. Again, you made up lies or you heard it from a clown that wanted to be down with your little bum crew and you swore to everything you love. You seen it with your eyes. Sheesh. Everything you love, you You a sad dude, man. Hey, you look smoked out, homie, and that's a fact. I just thought I'd tell you if nobody else wants to. You heard? Anyway, keep doing you, papito swing. So for those of you guys that don't know, Tony had posted a picture with BX Hova. Back in the days, Tony and Cuban were in a club and Tony started some ish and ended up starting a fight that led to Tony getting knocked out, and Cuban had to defend him on his own, fighting 20 guys, and Cuban got stabbed for it. BX Hova is friends with the group that did that and allegedly used to laugh at the situation happening to Tony and Cuban. So Cuban is saying here you are praising a guy that used to laugh at you. That's how low you are, instead of praising the person that almost died for you, protecting you like a brother. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Does Cuban have a point? Put your thoughts down in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe and stay connected with Panda Chop News.
Yeah, make sure you go check out Panda Chop News. Shout out Panda Chop News. Panda, if you tuning in, much love. Shout out to BX. Shout out Cuban Link. You know what I'm saying? But these motherfuckers, see how they paint a narrative and they try to act like, okay, these industry cats, these mainstream cats, and I ain't even say all of them, dog, because you know we fuck with legends, mainstream artists and shit, triple, double, quadruple platinum artists, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's Detroit. We shout out to the homie M. And yeah, he called me a stan. But hold on. I just want to pull up some, I'm going to show you a couple screenshots because we got something special planned. We was going to drop it Wednesday, but we want to do it right. We exposing you, Tony Sunshine is going down. Now y'all know. What up, though, Cap C? I see you, homie, Bay City in the building. Damn, why, can I, see these pictures, these screenshots? All right, I'm going to have to, fuck that. While we live, I got to pull these up. So we're going to go ahead and do it like this. Right here live, you're going to pull them up. What up, though, Cap C? And we got Hush in the building tonight, just so y'all know. Tapping in at 9 o'clock, y'all. You know we always play hip-hop, we promote shit. Like I said, we got some dope shows coming up. Man, I sent a bunch of pictures in so that, hold up. Don't worry, y'all. But, yo, well, let me tell you, I'll break it down while I'm putting these, I'm going to send these to Southwest Word. Shout out to Southwest Word. He makes this shit happen. But dude jumped in my inbox. I ain't know who dude shit is. I'm going to tell you his name in a minute. It's some weird shit. He was dogging the hood. He was dogging Detroit. He was dogging the Hood Smokers podcast. He was dogging us. Basically trying to threaten us. I didn't even know dude. I had to do some research. I had to hit up my homies in the BX. You know what I'm saying? I had to do some shit like that. And let them know. Like, yo, who is this guy? Shout out Panda Chop. You know what I'm saying? But I found out his name's Los Deprez. Now, that's the manager of Tony Sunshine. If you just watch that clip, Cuban Link's been going in on him, exposing him. He got slapped in the face. Not once. Not twice. Not 3 times. He got hit in the chizzy with a Lizzie. Yes, sir. Now, I'm going to show you these screenshots where the manager admits to it, but he says because he was 15. That's why it was okay. Nah, fuck that. I don't know if we just come from a different cloth. I don't know. No shots. I got love for a lot of R&B singers. It's not the R&B shit. He just soft, dog. Because at 15, we was fighting with grown-ass men that younger than 15. I don't know about y'all, but your boy Gutta, we was out there in the streets fighting with grown-ass men at 15. And you do some shit like that, you getting your motherfucking melon pushback. You understand me? But look, I'm going to show you the first one. See, he hit me up. I don't even know this guy. Lost the prayers. You funny. I should say what up, though. What up, though? I don't even know who you are, dog. I don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? But this went on for over 24 hours. This dude tried to come at me, but I just wanted to pull up a couple and show y'all. Just to show y'all what to come. Because I got like fucking, I had to screenshot like fucking 40 messages to shoot into the homie Blatonio Todd for this dope ass fucking exposing video we finna upload on the Hood Smokers podcast. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Because Tony Cock, we coming for you. We coming for you, the Hood Smokers podcast is coming for you, bitch. But look, I tell them I've been in this game since 91. This is bigger than YouTube and social media. It's about real, recognize real. And to live for the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? These motherfucking gatekeepers, they think they can control shit. He says, I can't tell a real bullshit story because I had said something about him getting slapped in the face with the glizzy. I didn't put that one up there. You will see it when, because I told you there's too many. I can't just read them all out. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't how I want to expose Tony Sunshine. I just want to let y'all see. Because I don't be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He said, real. A bullshit story about a 15-year-old kid. So he was 15, getting slapped by a grown man's dick is real? Dog, they was in high school. They was all in high school together. He was trying to show out in front of some females. But we gonna talk about that more, you know. Motherfuckers, you bitches. Cut it out. Like I said, you funny. And I don't know how many times this dude told me to suck his dick, and I told him we don't roll like that. And yo, I got some funny shit. I didn't pull all the screenshots up, but like I said some shit about, man, you better hit Tony up. Dog, he hit me up for over 24 hours straight. I'm telling y'all, real talk. Hit me up for over 24 hours straight. Just non-stop. I'm like, damn, I don't give a fuck, dog. Why if like, and he was trying to act like they was bosses and shit. Then why are you so worried about us, huh? Why you so worried about us? Because they know we ain't gonna back down. They try to bully motherfuckers, and we don't back down. You see that? Yeah. I just wanted to share that. We got Hush in the building already. We got Hush in the building. We're still waiting on Brother King X to tap in. Like I said, my other co-host, Blatonio, Todd, he's on his way en route back to Tucson, Arizona. I told you we was working all day. You know what I'm saying? Working the last few days. We had a lot going on in the D. But before Hush taps in, unless he taps in right away, I see his mic's muted, so we're going to go ahead and play another track. Let's see. And we waiting for Brother King X to tap in anyways. We got to celebrate the homie Hush, right? You know what I'm saying? This is a true Detroit legend. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. All right, we got you in the building, Hush. You just got to turn your camera on. There's a camera icon. We got Hush in the building, y'all. What up, though, Cap? I see you, homie. Yeah. What up, though?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Sorry, my other two co-hosts aren't here at the moment. Brother King X will be tapping in, but Blatonio Todd, he's from Tucson. I think I was telling you that, but he was here in Detroit because, you know, we have Brother Marquise here in Detroit, and so he's in the air right now. But it's definitely an honor to have you on here, though.
Thanks, bro.
No doubt,
Appreciate
no doubt.
that.
So what's going on? What's good with Hush?
Man, just, you know, staying busy, bro. Just getting ready to, you know, we kind of started this new volume 2 7182313 album. So I just started in the infant stages, you know, making tracks for that and just writing, bro. Just, you know, keeping my pen, you know, keeping my pen up, you know.
That's a beautiful thing, dog. Because I mean, you can't, when you talk about bar guys and like putting words together and shit like that, I mean, you can't not mention you and shit. Like, I mean, you was like the lyricism. I mean, it shows Detroit hip hop like at its finest and shit. Because, you know, we known for that. I mean, I played the old school joint, that one where M was in the video and everybody rest in peace proof with Nate. Nate Dogg, rest in peace, Nate Dogg. Yeah, I played that earlier and shit. I mean, the bars are just cold. I mean, and you've been doing it, and it's good to see you're still doing it, dog. That's the shit.
Thank you, man. I learned from a lot of the good guys, you know, that I was around coming up. They helped mold a lot of, you know, the way that I write, and, you know, especially Proof. You know, Proof you know, would come to the crib and I guess the best word, he'd probably he would pick my rhymes up off the table and go through them and be like, "This shit's whack. This shit's good. This shit's whack. You know, take this out, put this in."
You need people like that around you. Keep it 100. You don't need a bunch of yes men and shit.
Nah. You know, and Uncle Ill was the same way. You know, Uncle Ill from the Ruckus. You know, that's my man, and same thing. You know, we kind of just like bounced off of who our idols were. You know, like I loved Redman. I loved, you know, everybody was coming up at the time, Raz Kaz, like, you know, all those guys, the heavy lyrical bar guys, you know.
Right. Shit, I remember I copped the Ruckus album. I copped that, and I copped the Bizarre Attack of the Weirdos the same day and shit. I remember I copped both of them. That's when I was back in my younger days when I was rolling on E, hitting the rave parties, all that type of shit.
Yeah, dog. Them were the days, man. The Maccabeewick days. All the Packard plant and all them spots.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I know we spoke out of this before on the show about the show that M did, and you was there.
Yeah.
I remember that. Y'all killed that shit.
Yeah, it was called the Aftermath. The Aftermath Rave.
Yeah.
My boy Ty Manica put that together, and he had all M's boys on the show. It was, we opened up, me, the Ruckus, and Bazaar opened up. I think I know Proof was in the house, and it was. I think Royce showed up there. It was crazy. That was probably one of the dopest local shows I had been a part of, because I had never really. I wasn't into the rave scene like that. I loved techno and house and all that, but I really wasn't for going to them spots. And then we started getting booked, opening up for a lot of the people at them spots. We opened up for Wu-Tang, us and Slum Village opened up for Wu-Tang. We did shows with solo members of Wu-Tang who came, and then they started putting us with, house DJs and like DJ Magic Mike, Rectangle, all them kind of guys. So then when they came to us and said, yo, we want you to be a part of this thing with M, that was like a no-brainer. That was my guy. So it was like, yeah, definitely, plus, we were looking at it like we was next.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like me and Bizarre, we was talking about it before the show, we got to get on. Dude, this is our time. We got to get on. And if we open up for M, we already know they're going to go crazy because they love M. And My Name Is was out. I think the album had just dropped.
Yeah.
And, and so we was heavy into we got to get on. So doing a show like that was just no brainer. It was
yeah, they had. I remember he brought that one dude out there from the Jenny Jones show.
Rude Drew.
Yeah, Rude Drew. Yeah, I remember that shit, dog. Fucking Coffin Security. Yeah, that shit was a live ass rave. I was at that bitch. I was definitely in the building and shit.
I got video of that somewhere. I was just watching it maybe 3-4 months ago. I found footage of it.
That's dope.
Waiting to put it out.
Well, let's go back. So, because we know you've been in the game for a long time. So when did you fall in love with hip hop? Not even as just MCing and rapping or whatever, but when did you fall in love with hip hop?
You know what? I probably was 7 years old, maybe, when hip hop was early. I don't mean to sound old, but I'm 50 years old, so probably 1979.
Okay.
My neighbors, I grew up in Conant Gardens. Okay. Same spot where Dilla and T3 and them grew up at, down the street from Pershing. And my neighbors used to play funk, and hip hop on the weekends. And my bedroom window was right, houses be so close to each other. My bedroom window was right next to their porch. And they would throw these porch parties. Everybody just come and hang out on the front yard and on the porch.
Right.
And they was playing P-Funk and, Zap and, and then they would play whatever hip hop was around at that time. So they was playing Planet Rock and all that early hip hop.
Right.
So I was just I fell in love with it. I grew up with, my parents was playing classic rock. My dad was in a rock band in the 60s. And so classic rock was super prevalent in my house.
Right.
So I grew up with that. And then, once I heard hip hop, it was just something so brand new. It was just something about, especially Planet Rock, man. It was something about them electronic beats, that Bambaataa had that was just so crazy and so different than, what regular musicians was using, you know, a synthesizer versus a guitar, and you know, and a regular drum set was like totally, it was like spaceship type shit to me.
Right.
You know? And I was just like a kid, like just so like wrapped up in that sound. So easily I was like, you know, talking to my parents, like, how can I listen to this? And, you know, so next time we were at the store, at the record store, Harmony House,
Right.
you know, my parents like kind of put me in the section, like let me just kind of figure it out. You know, they didn't know nothing about it, and they were, you know, they were of that generation. It was like, it ain't gonna last. Right. You know, it's a fly by night, you know, type of music, and especially my dad. My dad's like super rhythm and blues type guy who's like all about instruments.
Right.
And, you know, to hear a synthesizer make a beat, he's going to wash that right out the way. Like, man, that ain't real music, you know, like, but probably like, you know, between 79 and 82 was like my most impressionable years of hip hop, you know.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's one thing about Detroit, like, because even like Blatonio, he said he didn't even leave yet. He was like, man, I miss Detroit already. And even when we flew, when we had Gangsta Nip up here, he was like, man, I should have been born in Detroit. It was like, even though the weather, like Blatonio's down there in Tucson, Arizona, where it's nice as fuck out. He wanted to, it was shitty out yesterday where we're riding around. He's like, man, I miss Detroit already. I ain't even gone yet. Like, fucking, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like the whole scene, music, whether you're a hip hop head, whether you like techno, whether you like rock, R&B, Motown, whatever. I mean, we got it all here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, then, you know, like I heard, like then like just not that much longer after that, the Wizard and Electrifying Mojo was on the radio. So, you know, they would, if my neighbors wasn't playing anything that they had, like they was playing it off the radio on, you know, on the for that hour or two that Wizard was on, playing, you know, everything from, you know, Egyptian Lover to Human League, and you know, and you know, and then you had Mojo, who was always playing like Prince and Michael Jackson and funk and Earth, Wind and Fire, and you know, so I really got wrapped up in that like quick, because it was just something that just, I mean, it's so cliche to say it, but it touched my soul. Like it was just something that, to this day, man, like as long as I got music, and I mean, even the stuff that I just grew, you just give me just a playlist of stuff between 79 and 81.
Yeah.
Bro, you could put me in a solitary confinement. I'm good. I'll do 10 years in that bitch.
Just rock out. Yeah, just throw the headphones on and zone out.
That's it, bro. I can do a stretch as long as I got my music.
Hey, that's real talk, dog. Because I remember when I went upstate, I ain't promoting anybody going to prison. You know what I'm saying? I was young and dumb. This over 20 years ago. But when I got locked up, I actually had enough money to buy a TV. But in my books, but I ended up buying a Walkman, the headphones, and they let us buy 3 cassettes at a time. And I bought 3 cassettes. Now I can't remember. I think M had just dropped his second album when I got to upstate. He dropped like 2 albums, like the 8 Mile soundtrack, all that while I was in prison. So I had to watch. I watched D12 come up. Like before that, I knew them before that from the scene. But when I got locked up at the end of '99, it was like everything was popping. I'm like, damn, like 8 Mile was covering all that shit in the early 2000s and all that. And then, but yeah, the first thing I bought was a set of headphones and a tape players. Like, fuck the TV and shit. You know what I'm saying? I need my music.
I did a stretch 10 years before that, and I had bought a radio that you could hit record. So I would get blank tapes and from the guards, and they would let me record off of the TV in the TV room, and the TV room was playing MTV, like Yo MTV Raps. So I would literally record whole episodes of Yo MTV Raps on cassette just to have the variety of stuff, you know. And then I would buy I was buying like Heavy D, you know, Naughty by Nature, like all that stuff that was just coming out in, you know, like 90, 91. So all that stuff, that's when I was doing my time. So, you know, I was easily gonna, like, I could have did 25. I'd have been good, bro.
Right.
I don't promote that at all. Doing 25, but if I'm gonna do it, as long as I got my music, I'm good. So
yeah, we got a saying here. We kind of like we use it all the time when someone calls you old school or what's up old school or something like that.
Right.
Old, it means outlive dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Outlive the
no
dumb
doubt.
shit. Shout out to Hussein. He came up with that and shit. Brother King X is joining us. My co-host, Brother King X. I know you might know him formerly known as Hallucinate. I know
He know me as Nate Nitty, the prostitute killer that used to be backstab the neighborhood kingpins hype man, because they used to beat back and forth back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Even though I never really was officially part of that beef.
Yeah, that was a crazy beef, bro. But I don't want to talk on that because that's too long ago, bro.
Man, we don't even want to get that joker. Don't even get that joker no shine, man.
No.
He went from rap to porn to something else. So we gonna let that cat be.
No,
yeah.
Positive vibes. Positive energy. But
that's right.
When did you know you was gonna be an MC? Like, when did you know you like that's my this is gonna be my career. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm chasing my dreams. Fuck that. I'm going all out.
I kind of started rapping when I saw Ice-T in Beat Street and doing he was performing Reckless, and that just that changed a little bit for me because before that I was like deep into like the music just aspect of it, the tracks of it, and then once I saw. And I used to break dance, so Ice-T used to break dance. He was a dancer and all that first. He wasn't even, and so when he kind of like made that little move from break dance to rapping, I was like, well, I could do the same thing. And then, but then when I was locked up, I really got I had a lot of time to sit and really craft myself, really craft my syllables, craft my metaphors and punchlines, and then I would kind of try to draft some of my rhymes according to some of the stuff that was out at the time. So if it might be to Headbanger, with EPMD or even Trapped by Tupac. I was just trying to write rhymes according to those styles to kind of switch it up. But I never really, even to this day, I never really write rhymes to music. I just get in my zone. I've got my own flow and cadence in my head. I know I got a good time signature in my head that I can follow. And then I kind of just apply that rhyme to whatever beat I might listen to, and I might zone into it and be like, okay, well, this fits this beat, and most of the time, I mean, I'm producing it, so I'm able to craft my rhyme around something that I'm making at the time. So I think I just really knew I wanted to be an MC when I got out of jail. Because when I got out of jail, when I was in jail, I was doing talent shows. They used to have these little talent shows, whatever. They used to have little battles, and I used to battle everybody on the floor. And at some point they was like, this kid's nice, And then I was locked up in Cali, so a lot of my battles was with a lot of West Coast dudes.
Okay.
So I was locked up with Mac Dre. I was locked up with Young Fade. I was locked up with a lot of people that came out of the Dangerous Music camp, or Too Short's camp.
Yeah.
So a lot of them guys would battle, a lot, and they battle the way that we battle. We knew battling here. It was just a little bit different, I would freestyle off the top of my head, and they were writing rhymes, so they would battle with rhymes. So I would battle with rhymes against them, but when I came home, I told my brother, yo, I'm ready to go. Let's get this going.
Hell
So my brother kind of connected me with some people in the hood, and then I ended up like.
What'd you say when your brothers out started label, put them on?
That's what I'm saying. That's right.
That was my shit, by the way.
Because then my brother got locked up. So then that's when I said, like, so when my brother, gets out, I'm gonna put him on, because my brother put me on when I got out, but then my brother got locked up and did a stretch. He did like 5 to 15. So when he got home, it was like, I'm gonna put him on. But my brother didn't want to get in the rap game like that. So he just wanted to just stay behind the scenes. So I just put rap on my back the minute I got out. My brother was right there for me, like connecting the dots for me with people in the hood, and that's how I ended up like connected with Uncle Ill and Eminem. Just they lived in my neighborhood.
Man, your production skills, everybody knows about you from the rap perspective, but your production skills, I know who all you produced. Man, you produced the hell out of them MOB albums, you know what I'm saying? You produced a lot of tracks for a lot of cats that people wouldn't even know that you had something to do with.
Yeah. I never really knew where to get beats from anybody. Like, so my big thing was I met somebody who was making beats, and they was just messing around, and they really wasn't serious about the music shit. They was really more worried about the girls and impressing the girls. Oh look, I can scratch, and girls be all giddy or whatever around them. And so he would go, hang out with these girls, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna stay here in the room. So I would stay in the room and just like mess with all the equipment. And then I was just like, well, I ain't got no beats. I need to make some. So I just started making tracks and trying to figure it out. And, and then I went and bought my own equipment. And once I bought my own equipment, like it was on. Like I wasn't going to hold it up. I started just going like, soon as I knocked 10 joints out, it was time to record. Like I was going in the studio with them. So, yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It all happened kind of fast too. It was like once I got out of jail, like within 2 years, the Ruckus was together. The Ruckus had an album out, and we had sold 5,000 copies of CDs.
Yeah. No, I know that shit was all over. Not just Detroit. That shit touched all over the nation, the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had that joint with M called We Shine. So that a lot of when that album came out, a lot of yeah, like a lot of blogs and the internet was kind of fresh, and so a lot of hip hop sites like jumped on that, and saw that or heard that song, and so we got on the radar of a lot of like major hip hop labels and cats like so.
That's dope. So what you like better, performing or creating in the studio?
Oh, creating in the studio. I wish I could never perform ever again. I can't stand it.
I think you're the first guest that said that. Sometimes they're like, they can't compare them and shit. Some of our guests said that, and some of them.
Bro, it's just something about like it's like the finished product is so easy to sell because you made it, right? So going out on in front of a crowd is. I mean, you're feeding the crowd, you're feeling the energy and all that stuff, and it's all good. But to me, it's just when I sit down somewhere and like I hit a chord progression or I hit something, I'm just like, oh my God, like I wasn't like 2 days later after I've been trying to search for that right sequence or that right arrangement or whatever, or that right sample, and all of a sudden you find it, and then you start applying, you finding a kick to match, and and you find that right snare, and then but once you get that sequence and that an intro, and you got your 16 bars, you got a chorus, like man, that shit is everything to me. Like it's just something that, because I get so excited about it and want the world to hear it. So once they finally hear it, I've already been there. Now they're hearing it for the first time, but I'm already, dog, like my kids can tell you, they can't stand being in this house because they got to hear that fucking snare 75 fucking times in a row and nothing else. Just pack, pack, pack. And they're just, they'll open up the door like, yo, can you please shut that shit up? Like, they got to hear some hi-hats. Nobody wants to hear just hi-hats by themselves for 20 minutes straight, trying to figure the shit out. So once the joint is finished, it's like, man, like I've already been through every aspect and dissected it through everything you could think of and finally give it to the audience. And then the audience hears it for the first time. They have no clue, about what it took to create this. But you get to see and feel through them the results of the fruits of your labor. You know what I mean? And that's dope. But the performing aspect of it, it's too easy for me.
Right.
I got to be real with you. Like I love performing. I do. I don't want to say I don't. I've been a solo artist for 20 years now.
Right.
And before that, I can't tell you how many stages the Ruckus rocked.
Yeah.
In and out of state. And then so I mean I can't tell you how many shows I've done. So it's just I think I'm just at that point in my age where it's like, it's time to just lay back and just make beats.
Shit, weren't you just on the 420 show with Medical Records and Stretch Money in there? How was
I hated that shit.
You hated that shit. Shout out to Medical Records.
Listen. Shout out to Medical Records, but let me tell you how this night went, okay? And this is as real as it gets. Showed up in the parking lot at 10:15. My manager is also my hype man.
Okay.
Showed up at 10:20. Walked in the building, met up with homeboy, walked around, saw a few people that was there. It was packed. Walked around for a half hour, saw Hatch, saw my boy Damien.
Yeah.
They was like, yo, you going on after Hatch? Hatch did 4 songs. I went on right after, walked off the stage, right to the front door, went right in my car. It was 11:20. I was in my bed by 11:45.
That's what's up. Yeah, I know. Shows like
I do it because that's my art. That's what I do. You know what I mean? I still got product out. I still am an artist, and I still service my fan base. So, there was a lot of people there that did come to see me, and then there was also new people who didn't see me. But don't think that, I just walked on stage and had no energy or nothing. I still give the people what they want.
Right.
Because that's still, I do have a deep understanding that is a blessing to have a gift and a talent that you can provide somebody that somebody might listen to and be like, man, like, your music changed my life, or your music got me through a day, or your music got me through an hour, or whatever it may be. So I'm still respectful of that,
That's what's up. Brother King X, you got any questions?
Nah, nothing offhand. I mean, I pretty much, in my humble beginnings in hip hop, then I'd have been at the Fire Frog with the guy. So,
yes, sir.
Pretty much everything he's saying, you know what I'm saying, I pretty much was there as a witness, whether you realized I was there or not, but I was there.
The Wire Frog gets lost in the shuffle when they speak on the history of Detroit hip hop.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of like, it makes me feel away sometimes because people don't realize what happened at the Wire Frog, and that was like
great MCs graced that stage.
Man, let me tell you something. The hip hop shop had closed, and so all the battles that M and Conniva and all that was in. Proof was killing everybody every Saturday. The hip hop shop eventually closed. I took the reins, opened up the Wire Frog as a hip hop night, and said, I'm going to bring the battles back. Because I was there. I was the wallflower at the hip hop shop. So I was there seeing, you know, M destroy everybody. But I mean, I was there. I saw Proof destroy everybody more than not. But, you know, all my friends was there. You know, DJ Head, Dez, Conniva, Beretta, Swift, Bizarre. Like, these are all, like, Low Lewis. These are all still my friends to this day. So, you know, at the Wire Frog, it was like, okay, I'm going to bring the battle back. And so we brought the battles back. And people don't even know. That's where Miss Corona got her start.
Right.
She was called Pimpette before that.
Yeah.
And she changed her name to Miss Corona. And not only did she battle, man, she battled Malachi. She battled One Below.
Okay.
I saw one Below battle IQ from D12, and IQ quit right on stage. Literally, quit. Wit, rap, period.
Quit. Period. He put
Quit
the mic
rap,
down
period.
for life.
He put the mic on the floor of the stage. One Below murdered him, and that was it. You know, but then we also had we always had shows every week. Bizarre had his record release party there.
Attack of the Weirdos.
Attack of the Weirdos release party was there. The Ruckus, we had our record release party there for episode 1. You know, but Bugs was there with me all the time. Bugs was there performing. Bugs battled.
It's all it's all
yeah. You know, and then after Bugs passed, we had his benefit there. You know, and we raised a lot of money. You know, gave his family some money. You know, to help with funeral costs and stuff like that. So the Wire Frogs, it doesn't get. I just feel it doesn't get the respect that it deserves because a lot of the cats, you know, from before that, I don't think they recognize it kind of like as an official spot because maybe it was an East Point,
right?
You know, because it was off Gratiot and 8.5 Mile, but you know. To me, it's still all relevant.
I mean, it's just part of Munch's part of hip hop history.
Shit, it was East Detroit back then, wasn't it?
It was. East Point was East Detroit once upon a time.
At one point, yeah, it was, but it was East Point at the time. They had already changed the name.
Okay.
I look at the Wire Frog the same way I look at Lush.
Right.
You know, but Lush had some ill battles. I was there for a few of them. Lush had some really deep-rooted battles, but I think that was because, you know, the battlers put that night on, whereas I, myself, and Uncle Ill put the Wire Frog night on. So we was always talking to everybody, trying to, you know, book people for the shows and all, like Invincible came through, Paradigm came through, Sun, you know, and then, you know, then you had a ton of other local, you know, hip hop came through there. But I met a lot of people through the Wire Frog that, like I said, are still friends of mine to this day. So those are good times, man. I mean, I created a good catalog of music for people that came through Wire Frog. You know, I produced probably 90% of Paradigm's first album with my boy Damon Mad Chemist. You know, so a lot of that stuff was getting made at that time.
Yeah,
Clash of the Titans and all that.
Yeah, I see. Shout out to Brad. I see he said in the chat. I remember picking up Detroit's best kept secret album at the Wired Frog.
Yeah, Detroit's best kept secret had that Bugs joint on there. These Streets.
Yeah.
These Streets are overtime.
The Streets is overtime. Pack a vest.
I ain't bought that.
Hold the 9. Yeah, we sold that there. That was you know, that's how we made that happen. We grabbed everybody that was doing stuff at the time. Marco Polo,
Marquise.
Marquise, all that. Yeah. We had a lot of good people on that album.
Train was on there.
Yeah, Posey, that's my dog.
Classic.
Posey is like one of the first people I ever did anything with. I remember recording vocals in my walk-in, like small, tiny ass walk-in closet in my apartment off of Gratiot and 13 Mile. Post just him and Tunzi and shoot, who else was that? Doc. Everybody, that whole little crew. It's crazy. I watched all them young kids come up.
Well,
shit, I was just a young kid then too.
Hold on, I gotta hit the smoke detector real quick, y'all. Brother Kid Games, keep it moving. Is that the smoke detector? Alright. We good, my bad. They out there smoking, they need to bring the weed up in here and shit. Got smoke detectors going off and shit. I'm like, fuck, gotta make sure it ain't on fire and shit. We on fire. Hush in the building. Well, you hear this? I fuck with Matt Hoffa. Like he wished us like he always hits me up. He like tries to like give me like tips and pointers and shit like that. Like I fuck with Hoffa, Matt Hoffa from he's got his show, My Expert Opinion. But
love that show.
Yeah, he said something about like because you know he's a battle rapper and he loves Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He came and came to Detroit to interview like Marwan in Detroit on 7 Mile and shit. But they always bring up like battle rappers can't put together songs. Like a battle rapper can't put a song together. Like either you a writer and an MC the songs and I
think it's hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of battle rappers, it's hard to do when if you focus on just battling, then all of a sudden you stop and you try to. It's like the train is still going, like you're still on that train, and so you might try to jump off the tracks and try to write a song, but your brain is still connected and wired to write the way a battle rapper would write. So
this is why I'm glad my hip hop upbringing, because I came up in a time of battle rap, but I got a family that are West Coast MCs. So I had the battle rap structure down pat, and I also had the songwriting aspect due to those who was put in my life.
Yeah. See, I all my battle rapping, I got out of my system, out of the way before I even started the ruckus. So as I was making a solo album and writing, Uncle Ill and I like started just vibing more, and he was hearing a lot of the stuff that I was doing, and I had made a song called Maintain that was on our first album, and that kind of like he heard the sample and he heard like what I had like wrote, and that kind of like just set it off, and I was like into songwriting after that. I didn't write. I never really wrote battle raps anyway. A lot of the battling was, off the top of the head for us when I was growing up. So, the way that I'm glad that I came up that way because, don't get me wrong, I love battle rap now. I mean, I love the structure of it. I love a lot of the battle rappers. Math Hoffa is one of my favorite, but Pat Stay is my all-time favorite.
Funny, I was watching the podcast with Snoop on there. And Snoop Dogg was talking about how back in the day, Domino
was a battle rapper.
Had to write his rhymes because Snoop didn't know how to structure songs. Before coming off the top of the head and going in, battling, Snoop can do it.
Yeah. Snoop goes off the top of the head regardless. I went on tour with Snoop. And I've seen Snoop freestyle like just off the top of the head about whatever's in the room.
Right.
Just having fun. And it's like he's flawless. Like with even like it's when you're coming off the top of the head and you're vibing off of whatever's in the room and whatever, you gotta connect dots. You can't just it ain't like 1978. You ain't gonna like them to death. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna rap like that. So you're gonna look at what's in the room, and you're gonna find a metaphor in it. You're gonna find a punchline from it. Even like when I watched M battling at the shop, the one line that he said on Kaniva about about his face was white as the shoelaces or something like that. Like like all that. Even in 8 Mile when he flipped it on Papa Doc and changed all the he flipped the and put it up against put everything about himself to my man. That all was real. You know what I mean? M was known for that at the hip hop shop. And then when he battled Juice, I mean, I got to see all that. And M and I used to. I got cassettes of me and M freestyling just off the top of the head, like just at the house playing a beat and us just freestyling. And I still got those cassettes. I still listen to them every once in a while because I'm still shocked by the way that I developed. That's like good to see, to go back and see, like, well, where, how did this happen like that way, whatever. And I'm a very reflective person. So, going back, it's almost like an NBA player. Like, I like to watch footage. I like to listen to footage. You know what I mean? I like to listen to that stuff because it makes me a better MC. It makes me when I finally do put pen to paper or my fingers to text, like it's still relevant. I don't necessarily. I mean, my style now is different. Obviously, I don't rap the way these guys rap. Right. You know what I mean? I've maintained the same rap style my entire career. I ain't never switched up. You ain't never heard me hibbity. I don't rap fast because I know that I can't. It's pause, but some people's mouths can't say the shit that the way that they want to say it. You know what I mean? Like some people's mouths just weren't built to rap a certain way. Pause. You know what I mean? Like Busta, ain't nobody better. Twista ain't nobody better. Even M ain't nobody better. Right. I can't do that. So I stay in my lane. Now, if you want to put me like with the Redmans of the world, the Methods of the world, and even whoever else, I'll stay there because I'm not gonna change. It works for me. And that, like I said, that might be because I don't write to the beat. A lot of these guys write to the beat. They follow every hi-hat, snare, kick, whatever, the double kick here. Let me put 2 syllables here. I don't do that. Right. It's just because, I make my own beats. So I rap to what I like. And so I make beats of what I like. So a lot of times if you listen to a beat, you'll be like, man, this sounds like somebody else. It's because I've been inspired by that, whatever, you may think it is,
So did you and M ever battle?
Yeah, we battled. I mean, I don't know, not publicly, but we always battled privately.
Right.
We would be driving to the store or driving to the mall or driving to drop him off at his girl's house or whatever. We was always in the car battling. And we was always he had no, I don't want to say he didn't have any access to because I know he did, but I don't think he used it because he was always with me. But 90% of the time he was in my car. Yeah. And if he was in my car, there was instrumentals on tape all the time. So, a lot of Muddy Waters instrumentals. Right. Victory, Puffy and Big. Yeah. Special Delivery. Mm-hmm. Phone Tap, The Firm.
Oh yeah, classic.
The Phone Tap beat was just crazy because Dre did that.
Yeah, that's
and nobody had ever heard anything like that from Dre before. That was Dre was just so used to those West Coast beats that when he made Phone Tap, he bugged the fuck out. So we were all going nuts. But it's even crazier that was like our favorite go-to beat to freestyle to, and then M got signed to Dr. Dre. I always want to think about that. That's just crazy because I wish I would have been in a room and heard him tell Dre that and hear what he had to ask Dre about that instrumental because man, that was many nights we used that. Yeah, even DJ Rex that's Cheddar Bob. That's my dude. That's the one guy besides my brother who took me around to all all the open mics. He took me to the after hour joints. You know, he took me to St. Andrews. He took me to all the spots downtown and where there was an open mic where it was just some seedy ass place. You know, like just dark and dingy, and you know, it just might be a DJ in a corner, and you don't even know who it is, and he's playing, you know, 93 Till Infinity remix or instrumental, or They Reminisce Over You instrumental. Like, he put me in the spots he knew that I would gravitate to. But then, like, I lived off 7 Mile, so Rec was in Warren. So on certain nights, I would go to like C Note Lounge. And see like Mo Master there, and you know, and they would be, you know, they'd have an open mic night, they'd have a battle night there. I saw Proof battle there, I saw Bugs battle there.
Live next door to Mo Master.
That was that dude, man. He
right on Finkel and Wildemere, right next door.
Yeah, so when Proof was signed to him, I don't want to say signed to him, but Proof was always using his studio and whatever when he had Motor City Records.
Yeah.
And Proof would always be at my crib, like dropping off stuff he did with Mo Master. But you know, the stuff that I might hear, you know, that might have been different than what I was used to hip hop wise, was shit that I just gravitated to in the hood, which was like Spice One, MC8, Breed, Dayton Family.
Yeah.
You know, that's all shit that we played in the hood.
Right.
You know, I mean, especially Spice One, that shit got played on the regular.
Oh yeah.
That shit was tough. And so then people would be like, get in my car and hear Welcome to the Ghetto, and they'd be like, you listen to this? Like you listen to Pete Rock and CL Smooth all the time. Well, you know you like Spice One. How do you like them both? I'm like, because I grew up liking all liking all types of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, from 50 to De La to Jay to Tribe, like, you know, everybody. So, you know, like you name it, I was a fan. So
right.
A lot of my influences come from so many different places. You know, Spice One was some of my first rhymes when Em and I first hooked up. A lot of my rhymes were anti-government because I had just got out the joint, so I was really like focused on, you know, the prison system and judicial shit and criminal shit. And so a lot of my stuff was criminal related or anti-government related. And that's why Em and I kind of clicked, because Em didn't look at me as like some sort of competition to him.
Right.
You know, and, you know, a lot of dudes in the hood, I'm Lebanese, part Lebanese. So, you know, it wasn't like white rapper versus white rapper, but some people looked at me like, you know, oh, he's white rapper, white rapper, white rapper. So, but Em didn't look at it like that, but Em just was like, oh, well, he likes Spice One and he does like anti-government shit and he does it the best. Yeah. And Em was like, I can't do what you do on those rhymes, so I do this over here.
Right.
You know, and then he had went off and, you know, met the Outsiders and all them and came back and blew everybody's mind with what he was rapping about. So, but Detroit has got this style, man. It's like similar, you know. Everybody gravitates to Eminem's rap style, but Eminem's rap style is really a Detroit rap style. You know, Elzai rap like with very syllable, heavy.
Yeah.
You know, Bizarre with the crazy, the zany, you know, punchlines.
Right.
You know, and you know, then you got I'd always come with the ill metaphors and the syllables, you know.
And of course you got Esham with the flat out crazy murder shit.
Then you got Esham that was like, you know, one of our idols in the hood.
Right.
You know, and he grew up right in my neighborhood. So it's like, you know, a lot of the nation don't really know, you know, how what Detroit's, you know, the birth of Detroit stuff, what it is and how it developed over time, and then it got to what you hear now. You know, it's Detroit has gone through so many different phases of styles, right. You know, and we birthed so many things. You know, if anybody wants to say that, you know, Esham didn't birth that. They don't even know what they're talking about. You know?
Shit, as I'm concerned, Esham birthed a whole lot of styles. If you think about it,
Yeah.
If you listen to Dead Flowers, you could say Dead Flowers was the first trap album in hip hop history.
Dead Flowers is one of my favorites. That was a good album. The Closed Casket is still my favorite, but Dead Flowers is a close second.
And Judgment Day Volume 1 and 2 is no doubt the first double album in hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Plus he had that joint Morty's theme. Remember that?
Yeah.
Morty, no way.
Morty. That shit was crazy. And to see it, man, you know how geeked I was to see that shit on Video Music Box.
Man,
My man had
on the jukebox, man.
Dude, my man had a video he had a song in a movie. We was all geeked. The movie was whack as hell, but it was just like, dang, one of the homies.
You know, he had another video on the box too around the same time.
Yeah.
He had one for mental stress.
Yep. You know, the box was the shit. That's another thing. I used to videotape. I used to just hit record. And you never had to pay for anything on the box because that shit was getting played.
Somebody was already requesting something.
Bro, and it wasn't even us. It wasn't even the public. It was record labels. Found out later it was record labels just paying Ralph McDaniels and them to put that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
First real marketing and promotion.
Hey, but you can't lie. You Pop That Coochie was a video that was shown back to back.
Bro, AWOL got played back to back.
Yeah.
AWOL had some joints.
Yeah, they did. You know they was gonna sign with Bad Boy.
Yeah. Well, you know they was the first ones to talk about Cristal and Coogie's before Biggie.
Right. Oh man, that's what I'm saying. Detroit, a lot of this stuff that these rappers are speaking on and the stuff they're talking about was Detroit swag years ago.
Yeah, I just heard somebody try to argue that What Up Doe didn't come from Detroit. I'm like, are you crazy?
No,
I was like 6 years old saying What Up Doe Scrub to people. It used to have Scrub on it. You used to say What Up Doe Scrub.
Right.
And then they dropped the Scrub and it just became What Up Doe. To argue that it don't come from Detroit, man, you crazy, bro.
Man, I can go to the Bay Area in California and say what up, dope. They gonna know it's Detroit. I can go to Houston and say what up, dope. They gonna know it's Detroit. I can go to Brooklyn in Bed-Stuy in the Macy Projects.
Because it's people from Detroit there.
Yeah.
That have implanted it there. That's what it is. Because when I live anywhere I've lived around the country, because I moved a couple places. I lived in LA. I lived in Atlanta. Anytime I was there, it's Detroit people. It's a hub, and everybody from Detroit, even though they never knew if they were back in Detroit, they wouldn't even know each other. But the fact that they were all migrated there because of a job or whatever, there would be nights that they would just have Detroit nights. And everybody who was from Detroit would go to the club on that night. And so it was like, it would be so, especially in Atlanta. I go to Velvet and it'd be wall to wall Detroit people in there. And I used to be like, this is crazy. Like, you know this person and you know that person and you know this person. And it was so much love. So Atlanta and LA, same thing, just from people from Detroit working there or whatever. Throwing these nights or getting together. I mean, they used to have dinners at Justin's on Peachtree, and it just be Detroit people there. Right. So anytime you see somebody who's like, "What up, though?" Everybody, you know, people be in Atlanta in the club. Earl Flynn.
Right. Exactly.
Try to tell me Earl Flynn ain't a Detroit thing.
No,
that's Detroit. That's a Detroit thing.
All the way. Yeah, you can't deny that.
Can't deny it, man. Detroit is my. Detroit is everything to me, bro.
We're getting some questions.
I'll fight somebody for that shit.
Before I can't see them anymore, let me ask a couple of the questions of the chat. That Brandon said, quick question. He said the unreleased tapes you played on social media in the past, or you released them?
What is it?
He said is there any unreleased tapes that you're gonna that you played on social media in the past where you release them coming out? Old school shit.
See, I don't know, because I fight with that, because it's like some of the stuff I've got is like it's just cool just to put it out there, let some people hear it for a little bit. But you know, as far as putting it out, I don't know yet. I'm still, you know, I've got unreleased stuff, you know, that nobody's heard. You know, I've got a song with Proof that, you know, ain't nobody heard yet, but I'm probably gonna put that out this year, because before his mother died, you know, I got her. You know, I kind of got her blessing. I just told her, like, look, this song with me and Proof it's been in the vault for, you know, 15 years, 20 years, and I never got a chance to finish it. And she was like, you need to put my baby's music out as much as you can. Just go ahead. But she was like, put it out, Hush, put it out. And then I went to everybody, you know, D12 is my people. So I went to everybody in D12 and said, hey, listen, I got this joint. How would you feel if I put it out? And they was like, he did it with you. That's your joint. Put it out. And I said, well, you know, I even asked them, did y'all want to jump on it? You know, and so a couple of them said, yeah. So, you know, I got a verse from Swifty already. I know I'm getting a verse from Canava for it.
Oh, yeah.
And because they, you know, they've been keeping the D12 spirit alive. They just got off tour with Snoop.
Yeah.
And their DJ is my DJ as well, DJ Invisible. So we share the same DJ. So I know that they're gonna have verses for it, and Super MC is jumping on it as well from Almighty Dreadnoughts.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
And I know Uncle Ill's gonna jump on it, because originally it was made for a you know, follow up to episode 1 album. And I got, you know, Ill and I have stuff, you know, that we're putting out that, you know, that we're gonna release. You know, we're just in the process of trying to figure out how to make it happen and how, you know, what we're gonna do. But right now, the only thing that I'm really, really focused on is this 7182313 album with me and my boy Bobby J from Rockaway. We've already put the first album out, and that album went to number 23 on the iTunes hip hop charts. And so that was live. And so we just said, well, all right, we got to do a volume 2. So we're gonna do a volume 2, and he's gonna get some, you know, some killers from Queens to jump on some shit and get some producers. We already got some producers. One of them, this guy Neff, who he's a producer. He's dope. He just put out a project with Bobby J's. He's Premiere's engineer, and he does stuff for Premiere, and he shoots all the videos for Premiere and all that stuff. So Neff's gonna jump on it. I know we got some other people we've been talking to, and then Detroit wise, I'm gonna get 4 other producers besides myself. I know Nick Speed said he's gonna jump on something. My dog Maestro is gonna jump on something. So yeah, it's gonna be live, man. That's like I said, I'm in the infant stages right now, making that album. I'm about 15 tracks in.
What about a Hush Stretch Money record? Is a track coming out? Any
man, that'd be dope. I've only met Stretch Money a couple times.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because we had him on here right after we had Brother Marquise and shit, and I know that.
Yeah, he just did that joint with my boy Valid. Right. You know, and him and Valid are killing it right now with what they got going on. So, man, I'd love to do an album with Stretch. I'd love to even just do one song with Stretch Money. He's one of the dopest out Detroit. You know, I've always loved Stretch Money shit. And you know what's crazy? Like my youngest, he just turned 18. He's the big Detroit head in my house. Right. Like, he knows everybody. Like he's the street rapper. He's the street rapper, like aficionado in my house when it comes to Detroit street rap. Right. You know, like he talks to like Doughboy, you know, and he, you know, he's Doughboy Dre and him talk, you know, through Instagram and you know and all that stuff. So my son knows Stretch Money. He knows all them cats. You know. I came up with, you know, listening to Rock Bottom and Cheddar Boys and, you know, Blade and them. So, you know, so they're just the sons of that era.
And you know what's funny about that? You mentioning Rock Bottom, Street Lords, and Cheddar Boys. You know the supposedly neighborhood kingpin used to make fun of me for listening to that. That's when I realized that Backstab had no concept of hip hop.
Right.
I knew he had no concept of hip hop when he rapped on beats that he paid for. Because the minute he got jumped on my beats, I was like, I'll never do a beat for this dude again. I gave him all 10 tracks, pretty much. I did the whole album.
I know the Backstab projects.
Yep. But then my man wants to. I don't even want to talk about it.
We don't need to get into that.
Yeah, he want to get into some fuck shit. Here's my thing: how you gonna get beats from a guy, ask for his assistance, and help him with your project, then turn around and this the same guy you asked for help to assist?
Here, I'll leave you with this, okay? He said some shit online. My boy talked to Hex. My boy went to his house.
I know.
Knocked on his door.
And he ran.
Beat his ass.
Oh shit.
In the house. He copped the plea. And then my man said, I need money for gas.
Oh,
Backstab gave him money for gas. And my man dipped. And nobody ever seen Backstab ever again after that.
He didn't tell that story.
Yep,
He did.
That's
I tried to forget that.
That was my road manager, Snick. Snick was crazy, bro. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget. Oh man, showed up at his crib, beat his ass, and took gas money to drive back home because he had to drive all the way to Brightmoor.
Oh man, all the way to the mud.
I already know about Hex chasing him around.
Yeah, well, he was on them Detroit rap forums. He was on there talking shit to all of us. And I kept telling my man, like, yo, man, shut the fuck up. I'm telling you, you're going to get fucked up. You don't know who you're fucking with. You don't know these people. You may throw your own little nights and all that shit on the west side, but you don't be where all of us real cats are. You might as well stay off them chat rooms and all that shit, saying all that dumb shit, because somebody's going to come and collect on your ass. And they did. And he never said shit again.
Yeah, and got gas money.
And got gas money. That is a real story, bro. How ill is that? You get your ass beat, then you pay the dude to beat your ass gas money for coming to beat your ass.
Man, you know that dude almost got caught up for child pornography, bro.
All right, yeah,
Oh,
we're getting out there, dog. Yeah,
give me another question, dog. I know you got some more on there. Let's pop it off.
Questions. I'm trying to scroll up a little bit. I know that someone had asked about Champtown, how you met Champtown, because he's a friend of the show. They asked how you met Champtown. They wanted to know.
Champtown and I went to high school together.
Okay.
So it wasn't like high school. I mean, it was high school, but it was like I would say it's our high school years, because I went to school in East Point to this place called Kelwood, which was East Detroit Adult Education, and it was me, Champtown, the ROC, and Paul Metric from Twisted.
Okay.
So all of us went to school together. Same classes, same everything. Champ was always gone, though. Champ wasn't there a lot because Champ was on tour with Public Enemy or Ice-T or whoever. He was big on that shit. So whenever he would show back up, you know, we would just all, like, you know, I was a huge hip hop fan, so I'd see him like with a Def Jam coat and be like, oh my God, this dude got a Def Jam coat. You know, say like Rebel Without a Pause tour or something on the back or whatever, and it had like the security, the First World like patch on the arm, and you know, Public Enemy target and shit, and yeah, and then I seen him. Well, that was in high school, and then I went away for a while. And when I got out of jail, one of the first shows I went to was Dog Pound. It was a Death Row show at Club VIP International on West 7 Mile. Okay. And I went there, and in the parking lot, because Esham was opening, so I ran into Esham there, but then I saw Champtown and Uncle Cracker. Okay. And it's weird because I knew both. Uncle Cracker I knew from when I went to Mount Clemens High School before I went to East Detroit Adult Ed. I went to Mount Clemens High, and Uncle Cracker's dad owned a gas station on the other side of the high school. And I used to skip school and go there and hang out. And Cracker would be there watching the store while his dad was like working at another store or some shit. Cracker would have a day off of school, so he'd let us sit there, drink pops and eat chips and all kinds of shit. And Kid Rock would come through because Kid Rock was my age, and so he would like DJ our high school and all that. So I knew all these guys. So I met them I seen Ren and the Champtown at that show, and he asked me what I was up to. Was I rapping still? Because I was rapping at Kelwood. And I said, yeah. And then he was like, man, you need to come hook up with my label. And so I hung out with him and all kinds of stuff. But then, some shit went down, and, you just end up, people just end up parting ways as friends.
Right.
And I got love for him. I got love for him. I don't wish no ill will on my man. He was there with me early in the game, before I started the ruckus, but when I left him, Uncle Ill left him as well, because Uncle Hill and him had a group together. And just by chance, we both just like went off and did our own thing, but we ended up we were still friends, so we still ended up connected. And then Ill was like, "Oh, we should do something together." And I was like, let's see what we got. Never know, and it just happened to be the perfect marriage.
That's what's up. I wanted to talk about it a minute ago, but it slipped my mind while you were talking about him. But because we had Cuban Link on here, and he was telling us his different stories of coming to Detroit, because he came with Terror Squad one time in the 90s, and they got into it. Exhibit brought him, and he said that people from Detroit was whipping bottles at Terror Squad, this and that. And he said that Exhibit told him, like, look, don't go out there, them dudes gonna fuck you up. But he said when he left Terror Squad, when all that shit went down, after Rest in Peace Pun passed, he said that he came back to Detroit like in 02 with him. He did a song with The Nine, and he was talking about, I never heard this comparison but until Cuban Link was on the show, but he was like, he compared M with Pun. He said what Big Pun did for Latinos in hip hop is like what Eminem did for white people in hip hop, which we don't like. We look at MCs as MCs. We don't try to like label them like you're a white rapper or you're a fucking Latino rapper. You're an MC and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I never heard that comparison before, and I thought it was pretty dope that he did that. Like how he compared, like he put them in the same level and shit. Like
I see that, but I mean, I think he's thinking just on a different level, because Beastie Boys,
right,
third base. Yeah. You just can't leave those guys out of the conversation.
Right.
So it's just a different level of the culture.
Right.
The connection to the culture. I think what M does lyrically and all that is incredible. It's alien shit. But Third Base first album,
oh yeah,
License to Ill, Paul's Boutique.
Yeah.
Did you mean
Paul Revere, all that shit,
man?
I still
play that shit.
Back from the dead, chilling in the black in that cold name. Man, Paul's Boutique was my album.
Paul's Boutique is underrated.
Drag name.
Eggman, that was my shit on that album.
And my song was looking down the barrel of a shotgun.
Son of a bitch, getting rich.
Racism is all in serious tale.
Yeah, I tried to get my sons to recreate that video for looking down the barrel of a gun when they were like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, I remember.
I wanted them to redo that.
Search was here in Detroit for a while. I remember that because that's when I was locked up too, when they had Search in the AM. I'm like, damn. But did you ever? I'm sure you did. You ever chop it up with Search while he was here?
Oh yeah, he just put a song out called "Round Here." I just was with him in Far Rockaway, Queens. Him and my dog Bobby J did a joint together, and Search is working on an album right now, on a solo album. So he's been around a lot of people that have kind of been like trying to put him back in the game. And I mean, he don't really need anybody putting him back in the game. This guy's got his own connections to everything. I mean, the guy has been around so many different things, man. When you hear this guy tell stories about the Latin Quarter days in New York, and you know, this guy was bedside when Scott LaRock got killed. He was at Scott LaRock's hospital bed when he died. Think about that. That's ill. Nobody knows that. They don't know how deep it goes with Search when it comes to hip hop. You know, I've been around Search, and I tell you what, man, he loves Detroit. He loves, you know, he's still got love for his Cardi boys, and you know, and all that, you know, and all that. You know, he was supposed to he jumped on a remix for this joint I got called People. He jumped on the remix for me, which was dope.
So we got Search on that new album coming?
Yeah, he's working on a new album, so I'm hoping I can at least give him a joint or two. You know, and put my stamp on the album, produce for some production.
That's dope. That's dope.
He was one of those guys I looked up to growing up, man. Search, and when I heard Step Into the AM or Words of Wisdom, Triple Stage Darkness, I mean, Gasface was cool, but it was Words of Wisdom and Triple Stage Darkness. Those rhymes were just ill. Pete Nice was ill. Like, they were the lyrical MCs where Beasties were the party MCs.
Right.
You know, the MCs that came, I mean, Third Base and Pete Nice and Search were just ill.
Oh yeah, Pete
Nice was ill, bro.
He was.
They're like, you know what, and you can't deny House of Pain, bro.
Oh yeah. We know the history.
You can't deny House of Pain, bro. You can't jump, bro. That song "Jump Around" will be played for 200 years, bro.
The other day on the radio, on 105.1, they was playing
200 years. You will hear "Jump Around."
Yeah.
Hey, y'all know where Everlast came from?
Yeah, Ice-T in the Syndicate.
Yep, he was in the Syndicate.
And Bugs was his DJ. Yeah.
First song he had was called "I Got the Knack." That was my shit.
He was part of BEP for a minute.
Yeah.
We all know the famous story when Search came to St. Andrews, though, and he tried to diss the homie and shit. But you just
I was there.
Oh, you was there? Yeah,
I was
in prison reading in the Rolling Stone magazine, dog. I was in the joint reading it in the Rolling Stone, and Rolling Stone put it down that what he had said was, this is because...
Bro, he literally went to sing the song. He went to sing the diss.
Oh, shit.
And I just saw, the Goon Squad,
oh, yeah.
And that was it, bro. I saw a whole stage, I saw a microphone stand get thrown. I think I was on the news that night. Okay. I think the Fox 2 interviewed me after the show, asking me what happened? Why is there a riot here at St. Andrews?
Yeah, he had to get escorted out by the police. I heard he was late. They rushed him to a spot to try to keep him away from everybody. Yeah, the Rolling Stone actually worded it that D12 rushed the stage and they got on the mic and was like, "You gonna let him talk about our homeboy like that?" And then the whole crowd just kind of rushed.
No, it wasn't like that. But he just started to talk that shit, and that was it. I literally saw the Goon Squad make the whistle, and it was like the Red Sea party, and they just rushed the stage, and my man tried to get off on the side and ran out the door, and he got his ass beat right as he was getting out that door.
Yeah, that was a bad move for him to do in Detroit.
Because everybody, all of us knew he was coming to town, and so we were like, "Oh, we're gonna be there." We were already planning. Even if I wasn't in the fight, I just was like, "Oh, I gotta be there to witness the shit." Because let's see if Everlast has the balls to even do the song.
Right. That's crazy. I can't believe he did, dog. I can't believe
he did. He started to. He didn't get it off, but
yeah. That's nuts. So, what do you think about the Detroit hip hop scene now compared to back in the days when you were coming up with these young?
I mean, it's different. It's different. You know what I mean? It's just a whole different vibe. We went out of our way to host nights. Have hip hop nights.
Right.
You know, we would literally by ourselves go talk to the owner of the club and negotiate a door price and negotiate what he was getting, and you know, we'd make the phone calls, get a DJ as a resident, you know, and do all that, and you know the type of hip hop that was being played over the whole night was mostly East Coast shit, you know. Might throw a West Coast joint in there, might throw a down South joint in there, but for the most part, it was mostly like East Coast. The hip hop nights were basically East Coast based because there was such I know it sounds kind of bold to say, but it was like there was a more variety of hip hop, and so it was like, and the East Coast was making classics.
Yeah.
You know, Nas was out, Jay was out, 93 Till Infinity, Pete Rock and them. Like they was making classics. Wu-Tang, like everybody was making classics.
Well,
and it was like
the mischief is Bay Area.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you had some of the Bay that was sprinkled in there. You know, you might hear an E40 joint on there. Oh, yeah. You might hear Too Short Track. You know, Bow Down, West Side Connection would get played. Even Straight Up Menace sometimes from MC8 would get played. Like, or like The Hood Took Me Under or something from Compton's Most Wanted. But it wasn't like a major, you know, it wasn't like you couldn't name 20 artists from the West Coast that was out at that time, you know, but you could between the Midwest and the East Coast. And so it gave birth to a birth of a better variety. It seemed like, because a lot of the guys that was in our scene, that's what they catered to when they played out. So, you know, these guys now, they are, you know, they're all, I mean, they sound familiar.
Right.
You know, when I listen to Payroll, or I listen to T Grizzly, or I listen to 42 Doug or whoever, I mean, some of the shit is just undeniable. It's so dope. Payroll's got some bangers.
Yeah.
That just, I'm like, man, the production on this is crazy. The sample choice is crazy, you know, and so, but it's not like any of them would ever get together for a hip hop night that caters to that specific type of Detroit rap.
Right.
You know, like you'd be hard pressed to find anything that would match that in the hip hop scene. You know, like if you put M in, if you had M as the DJ, M's gonna play Redman. He's gonna play Naughty by Nature. He's gonna play Leaders of the New School. He's gonna play all this huge variety.
Right.
If you put Payroll or T Grizzly up there, they probably gonna play some real gangster shit or some whatever. So
what they playlist gonna be is gonna be 42 Dub.
Yeah, they right. And so and then you'd be hard pressed to find a club that's going to allow them to play that type of stuff, because to a club owner,
because of the comment bring,
that brings violence.
Right.
You know, that brings a crowd that, like, you know, and not for nothing. I mean, Detroit has had its share of street beefs that you know, club owners don't want a part of. I mean, when all that Rock Bottom and them East Side Cheddar Boys and all them and Street Lords was beefing, they wasn't throwing nights. They wasn't, you know, if they was performing, somebody might pull up.
Right. That's real.
You know, you never knew. Like but if the Ruckus is performing, you ain't got to worry about anybody pulling up at our shows.
Right.
You know, we were able to play. They loved having us because we brought people. The stuff we played was not going to breed violence.
Right.
You know, and it was just straight hip hop stuff.
Right.
So the underground scene is here, but the underground scene is hard to branch out.
And you know what's crazy is violent as horrorcore is. I never went to an East Time show, never seen some shit popped off.
Maybe some fights.
Yeah, it was some fighting. Harpo's had fights.
Yeah, I know that for a fact because
I've been to an Esham show at Harpo's, and it was like 3 fights going on at once.
Yeah,
I seen the dude get hit with a bottle right over the head. Clout.
Yeah, we
Like-
got in a fight there like 2003 because it was right around when 2004, right when I got out because Rudy, it was when they had signed. It was around the time when Psychopathic signed Esham, and he was with Rude Boy and all that.
I remember that.
You was at that show at Harpo's. We
Yep.
came on stage and we had the whole crowd. We sold more tickets.
I was there, bro. I was at that show.
Yeah,
Nah,
There was definitely fights at that show, bro.
Yeah, Mo Badness came on stage with us because Rude Boy got mad. He was like, "You don't grab the mics till your CD plays," and we was like, "Fuck you!" Like one of my boys from the hood who wasn't a rapper, but he was from Southwest. No man, he was like, "Who the fuck is you?" Da da da. And Rudy was like, he stormed out the stage like, "All right, you want your music played?" And he fucked the sound all up. And next thing you know, Juggalos was throwing shit at the stage. People was jumping off the stage. People was fighting in the crowd. It was the ruckus,
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
the general admission spot in the front
Yeah.
where everybody was standing, that shit turned into a mosh pit, and it was just fight. That shit was crazy. Yes, I've been to. I've seen how Juggalos get down. I've seen their shit. You know, and I've seen fights in the parking lot at their shows.
Right.
You know, everybody's had but you are more prone, it seems like, to have, if you put on some street rappers on your show, those promoters, they get really leery of the shit because, you know, it's not like insurance comes with those shows.
Yeah.
You know, if you book Snoop and some shit goes down, insurance pays for that shit.
Right.
You know, that's a super write-off. You got Snoop, you got whoever, because you got security, you got a lot of things that come with that.
Right.
But when you just put on these local shows, bro, you're gonna have to deal with whatever comes with that, and I don't think you want that. You know what I mean? I don't. You know, I mean, but I'm old in my ways now, man. A lot of that stuff I stay away from, and I'd rather go to like a Tyler the Creator show.
Yeah.
You know, or Thundercat or shit, even Doja Cat. Like,
yeah.
I'd rather be at those shows than be at some hood street shit.
Yeah, I know we got that 50 years of hip hop coming up in Detroit at the Fox. Well,
it's my 30th year in hip hop a couple years from now. It's my 28th year right now.
Okay, yeah. 3 decades.
I'm gonna retire in 2 years though.
Oh, you're gonna retire too?
Yeah, I'm retiring in 2 years. I'm gonna retire from the mic and retire from performing. I'm still gonna make beats, but I'm gonna. It's gonna be my 20th anniversary of Bulletproof, my Geffen Records debut. So I'm gonna perform that in its entirety, and I'm gonna have a bunch of. It'll be my 30th year in hip hop that year, and I'm gonna have a bunch of special guests on that show. Too bad Nate Dogg's gone, man. I could have had Nate Dogg there because he was a good friend of mine.
You know what's a hit of Nate Dogg's on it.
Yeah, I miss that dude. He was a really good man. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be some surprises, man, and then it'll be my 30th hip hop that year, and I'm gonna have some special guests.
Brother King X, on that show.
Too bad Nate Dogg's gone, man. I could have Nate Dogg there because he was a good friend of mine.
Turn your sound down, Brother King X.
Yeah, I miss that dude. He was.
All right, Brother King X, you gotta turn your. We're getting feedback. I can hear the YouTube playing. But what was I gonna ask? Oh yeah, you have because Brother King X could answer this question I was gonna ask you because you said you did some time in Cali and shit, and we've had quite a few guests from the Bay Area legends and shit because Brother King X got a lot of family out there. Like we had Black Sea, we had Black Ice, we had a lot of people from over that way. We Jay Rizzo, he used to rock. Well, he's from Detroit, you know what I'm saying, but he rocked with Too Short in there. But so what do you think about the Bay Area rap scene and shit? Like I know Black Sea told us he wanted to bring the funk back to hip hop, but you know funk started in Detroit, you know what I'm saying? But the West Coast.
Yeah, you know, I've always thought that Oakland was like a baby Detroit anyway. Mm-hmm. Like it's just something about the Bay rap scene. and I was friends with Shock G.
Okay.
And he was a real good that was a real good brother. He was real good friends with me. And I know a lot of people. I knew a lot of people in the Bay coming up. And like I said, like, you know, just doing time in Cali, I was in an FCI out there, and a lot of them was, you know, passing through there. You know, they kind of schooled me to how Oakland is, and you know, and the rap scene there. So to me, it's a natural thing. Like Shock G was like, he looked at Detroit like it was a hometown. That's why a lot of Digital Underground stuff was all funk related. You know, so you know, even like Ant Bank.
A special guest waving to y'all.
What up,
What up, Joe?
nephew?
What up, though?
All right.
My own sister.
Yeah, a lot of Oakland. Oakland just reminds me, like I said, of Detroit. It's just the way that they came up, the camaraderie of it, the you know, the way that like the Loonies and all them, like how everybody just knew each other and was all connected in some way. You know, they was all doing shows together. It was just like, it's the same way that we came up in the 90s. It was Detroit was the same way. So, you know, what the Bay was building, Detroit was building at the same time. And you know, I used to do promotion for some people at Jive. So I would hear like all Too Short stuff. I would hear E40 and them stuff, you know, through that, you know. And
the first time I heard Too Short was in 1981. I had one of the original tapes. From the back.
Okay, I had one of those original tapes, and it had BJ Betty on it.
Oh yeah,
BJ.
And that was like about 84, I want to say 83, 84. I had one of those original tapes. And so I got a chance to listen to all that. Like, you know, Shock G and I became cool, and I was supposed to do a remix of I was supposed to do a rock rap version of Freaks of the Industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was gonna let me do it, and then some alternative rock band like did an alternative rock version, not a rock rap version, like an alternative rock version, and he didn't want to stretch it out too much, so he was like, well, you know, he was trying to tell me what songs to do a version of that or do a rock rap version of that, but I never got a chance to because I was working on Bulletproof too much, and I was out in LA. But him and I, like, you know, he let me jump on stage with him in LA. They were on they had a show, and they let me jump on stage with them. You know, so I've been around a lot of you know, I'm really connected to a lot of the West Coast. You know, just the West Coast in general.
Right.
You know, Dilated Peoples were my homies. You know, they're from LA. You know, when I was it's so weird. Like when I was 6 degrees of separation is crazy, but when I was locked up, Snoop's father-in-law was locked up with me.
No shit.
And this was before Deep Cover came out.
Okay.
And so he was telling everybody, like, you know, in the dorms that, like, yo, this is my son-in-law Snoopy, and he's gonna be huge and blah blah blah.
You know, and actual birth father is from Detroit.
So let me get to that. So later did I know, so I got to know his wife's daddy while I was in. When I came home, Snoop's father was my mailman.
Damn.
And he lived 16 houses down from me. And I knew who he was. And he would deliver mail with the Death Row jacket, the Death Row varsity jacket on. With the mail bag on, and right here it said Pops. So we always knew who he was because I asked him, like, where you get that jacket from? He's like, oh, Snoop's my son. And I was like, your son, like, he grew up down the block. And he was like, nah, like, his mom and I divorced and he went to live with his mom's family.
Yeah.
But he's like, but he's been back and forth here his whole life. He used to work at McDonald's across the street from Eastland.
No shit.
And I was like, that's crazy. So then I got signed to Geffen. Snoop is on Geffen. And then I get thrown on tour with Snoop. And so I got to meet Snoop and tell him all these stories. Like, yo, you ain't gonna believe this. Your father-in-law and your father, I've been connected to. And then here you and I are on the same label together. It was like some meant to be shit.
Right.
It was dope as shit.
The secret is real. Shit.
Yes, it's just, dude, it's just so crazy, man, how that the secret is real, bro.
For real, for real. So what is just banging in this ride right now? Like, what are you bumping? Like, what's on your playlist?
That's a good question. Let me grab my phone here and see what's in my playlist. But my playlist is not like anybody's regular playlist. So, let's see here. Go to this mix right here. Luther.
Luther. Okay.
That's what I said. You ain't gonna hear the regular playlist shit. Like, my shit is so different. But if I go to my rap playlist, it's Tyler, Kendrick, J. Cole, you know, people that inspire me. Right. You know, when I write. The Roots.
Okay.
You know, I do love Drake, you know. But then I play some Scarface.
Oh yeah.
Eazy-E. Okay. Short. Corrupt.
Yeah.
Q. Pac.
Yeah.
Pac has always been like one of my biggest influences.
Yeah, most definitely.
And him and I were kind of around the same clique, because his manager, the lady that discovered him, Layla Steinberg, she helped me keep my name, Hush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when I was locked up in LA, my rap name was Hush Puppy.
Okay.
And it was just because I grew up with hush puppies for shoes. I went to Catholic school, and my parents, like, that's the kind of shoes they would buy me, whatever. And then I had like this whole concept, because when you had a rap name, you had to throw a concept behind it. So I threw a concept of like Doghouse, come out the Doghouse on stage, throw biscuits in the crowd. I rock a big dog bone, you know, and all that. And then Snoop came out, and I seen him on MTV Music Awards. Pulled up on a tricycle, came out of a doghouse, threw biscuits out in the crowd, and he had dog bone earrings. And I was like, and I had all this wrote down. I was like, man, this is crazy. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I got to get rid of this name. So I ran into this lady, Layla Steinberg. She discovered Pac. I ran into her at a convention in Atlanta. And she said, I was rapping, and she was like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Well, and I was real nervous and like shy at the time, and I was like, "Well, my real name's Dan." And she was like, "No, what's your rap name?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of like in the middle of changing it right now." She was like, "Well, what's your rap name?" And I said, "Well, it's Hush Puppy." And she was like, "What's wrong with that?" I said, "Well, like it was kind of like when I was young, that was my name. But then, and she was like, just drop the puppy, keep Hush." She's like, "That's a real unique name." She goes, "I love that name."
Yeah.
So I kept that name, and then she tried to do for me exactly what she did with Pac. She called Atron Gregory, who was Digital Underground's manager, who signed Digital Underground.
Right.
Called Atron, got me and Atron on a three-way, and said, "This is Hush. She's got a group, The Ruckus. They got an album. It's doing really good. What you think, Atron? Can you get him a deal?" And Atron tried to get me and Uncle Illa a record deal.
Okay.
And so I always stayed in touch with Layla and Atron. It didn't work out with Atron, but Atron connected me with some really big players in the game, who I used like for my benefit, at some point. But I always stayed in touch with Layla. Even after my record deal, she lived in Venice Beach. I went to her house. I mean, she ended up like teaching Tupac classes at USC.
Yeah.
She was a big inspiration for me.
Right.
So you know, and Pac was like, I would be so wrong if somebody asked me who my favorite rapper in the whole world is of all time, it's Tupac.
Yeah.
But what Tupac did for me, Tupac was so it just sucks that he died so early because he didn't get a chance to see how much Detroit loved him.
Right.
I mean, Detroit loved Tupac, bro.
That's facts.
I mean, even before All Eyes on Me.
Oh yeah, most definitely since the beginning. Shit.
Definition of a Thug on what album was that on? That Warren G did that beat. When he did Pain on Above the Rim.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
remember in Southwest when
let me tell you something, man.
That album that killed the game in Detroit. That was before Death Row and all that.
So Pain was before.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Above the Rim was signed. It was a Death Row album, but he wasn't on Death Row at that time.
That was around the Me Against the World.
Right. That was right after. Yeah, that was around the Me Against the World. Exactly. And that Thug Life album,
that was
bro. Let me tell you something. Bro,
yeah,
you got me sweating here talking about Pac, dog. Oh my God. Me and Em used to ride around listening to Straight Ballin' every day.
Straight Ballin'.
Straight Ballin'. That was our point, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Holla if you hear me.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I could go, man. I could go, man. Temptations, Tears.
Yeah.
All that, man. Like, I mean, Pac sounded great on West Coast beats, but Pac sounded incredible on Easy Mo B beats, bro.
Right. Yeah.
And Easy Mo B is the only artist to do produce Pac and produce Biggie.
Right.
And make hits for both those guys.
Yeah, both of them definitely took out the game
about that. Pac and Diddy was closer than what everybody thought they was, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's all for show. That's all for the the conspiracy of what people love to jump on. They love jumping on conspiracies and all this, but they don't even really know like how connected even Orlando that killed Pac. His uncle, how connected his uncle Keefe D was already to hip hop. Everybody knew who Keefe D was.
Right.
I seen Keefe D at Jack the Rapper in Atlanta with a bunch of Crips. And you know who was with him? Breed.
Yeah.
Now who was living with Breed in Atlanta?
Pac.
Right.
Now they said
that's what's just crazy. Here's Breed, who's Pac is his roommate, and Breed's hanging out with all these Crips and Keefe D.
Right. Yeah, no, I heard that every time because I got the honor to meet Breed more than a couple times. Rest in peace, Breed. But
yeah, me too, bro. Breed did a lot for me early when I first made my bones trying to come up, and I was living in Atlanta. Breed told his manager, like, Hush is already a legend in Detroit. We got a record out. A record deal yet. He was like, put him on one of our shows. And Breed's manager put me on a show at the comedy club in Atlanta, the Uptown Comedy Club, that he owned and managed. And he also managed Breed. So Breed talked to him. He said, yo, show up at the comedy night. So I showed up on a Friday night. Comedy was crazy. A black comedy club at that. Nervous, scared, shit. Like, I don't want to get booed. Like, I sat there and watched like a couple comedians. And I'm like, is this going to be a show? What is this? And all of a sudden the host was like, yo, we got this rapper from Detroit in the house. Blah, blah, blah. Fake ass Be Reals in the building. Like, started clowning on me. Like, and I'm like, I just started laughing and shit.
Yeah.
But no, for real though, I heard he's dope. He's gonna come up here and spit for y'all. So Breed tried to expose me to a lot of things. Breed had me on a couple shows. Like, man, he was one of the coolest guys ever, man. Seeing Breed like in Atlanta. DOC was his roommate too.
Okay.
So Pac and DOC was like in the same room together, like living out of Breed's house.
We was just talking to DLC.
I got to talk to all of them. I got to talk to DOC. You know, I really, that's where I really connected with Breed was when I was in Atlanta, because that's where I actually seen him. But you know, when I actually got out there in the world, even when I came back and started living back here, me and Proof would go hang out with Breed. You know, he was nicest guy in the world, man. It's just we lost a lot of good people too early, man. You know, to think that both them brothers. 3 of them brothers ain't even here. Pac, Breed, Proof, they all gone. Bugs is gone. Like, man, I wish y'all could have heard Bugs like in his like just in back rooms, like standing over my keyboard, freestyling to the beats I was making. Some of them moments, like you just can't. They're a lot in my memory. I wish you could just AI that shit and unlock it, so other people could see the genius in some of these people. Jay Dilla, same thing. Like Jay Dilla was going to give me a track for Bulletproof, but the label didn't think that his beat matched the Bulletproof vibe. Because if you listen to Bulletproof is very West Coast influenced.
Yeah,
you can hear it in the beats.
Right.
If you listen to Superstar, that shit sounds like a Dr. Dre beat all day. And there's other songs on that album. Real TV sounds like something West Coast. But M did Off the Tijuana and he did Coming, and those were real dope. Off the Tijuana was supposed to be Criminal Part 2.
Oh, all right.
From Criminal from Marshall Mathers LP. It was going to be Criminal Part 2. If you listen to it, that's why if you listen in the beginning of Off the Tijuana, the skit is from the song Criminal.
Oh, yeah.
When they robbed the liquor store and they killed the girl. Thank you. And, that's why it was going to be called Criminal Part 2. We were going to start it off there. And then that's why it's me, Swifty, and Kaniva, and we're each robbing something different. I'm robbing a bank. Swifty's robbing a bank. And Kaniva robs a 7-Eleven. But each one of these, like, I'm the getaway driver.
Right.
So it's from those perspectives, and M was on the hook, but Paul Rosenberg was like, nah, you don't get Criminal Part 2. You can make it whatever else you want to make it, but because they were thinking they might make a Criminal Part 2.
Right.
And if they call it that, I told them, I said, well, shit, go make a Criminal Part 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. No, real talk.
Yeah,
people don't know a lot of history like M shit, like how that song on Jay-Z's record that was already out with M and Royce on it.
Renegade. Yeah, that was already done.
Yeah, that was already done. Everybody know that well.
Yeah,
those who outside of Detroit didn't know that, but we knew that.
Here's something people. Here's a little Easter egg. Easter egg for that ass. I ain't never told. Some people around me know this, but I've never put it out there on the podcast. Anywhere, so you're getting an exclusive.
We appreciate it. We love exclusives.
Okay, so check this out. So when I first, this is a little bit long-winded, so just bear with me.
We got you.
I took M to the Palladium. The Ruckus opened up for Usher. Okay.
Oh,
so when we opened up for Usher, I brought M with me, just to the show. And then I booked the show. I booked Usher and booked the Ruckus as the opening act and booked Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street at the time, the leader of the Black Wall Street was Royce the 5'9".
man.
We had never met Royce the 5'9". That night is the first night that M and Royce met, and first night I met him. And that was because we made that happen. And it wouldn't have happened had we not heard Royce say his ill-ass line. He said something like, I'm iller than standing in front of a gorilla holding a banana. And for us, metaphors and, our East Coast syllables and all that, he stood front row, T-shirt off, all these screaming girls. And he said something like that to an Usher crowd. It was bananas anyway. But that made me and M go. Me and M, it perked our ears like, yo, did you just hear that? M was like, yo, who the fuck is that? I was like, that's Royce. I know I just know him because our boy Doc Seuss does his beats, and M knew Doc Seuss. So Royce came over, met M. They talked about doing a song. That same night, Royce's grandmother passed. He had left the hospital where his grandmother passed and his son was being born for the first time. His firstborn. So his son was born, his grandma died, and he opened up for Usher, all in the same night. And you can all hear that on the song Tabernacle. He details the whole thing. So I was there for that whole thing. But here's what's crazy. Now here's the Easter egg part. The first song Royce and M do is produced by Doc Seuss. It's the original Bad Meets Evil. Okay. Now, for the listeners, if you go on YouTube, search Bad Meets Evil demo or Eminem, Royce the 5'9", first version Bad Meets Evil. Okay. The very first lines of that song, Eminem says, Eminem and Royce go back and forth. M says, hi. Royce says, Royce, the 5'9", he goes, M goes, hi. My name is, and Royce goes, Royce the 5'9", and he goes, my name is, and he goes, Slim Shady. That's where my name is birthed from. Nobody has ever caught that. And as much as people want to go to the video of Dr. Dre saying, oh, he came in my studio for the first time and he said, my name is, no, if you listen to the Royce and M song, the very first thing he says is, my name is Slim Shady.
Right.
Easter egg for your ass. But here's even crazier. The very first time he ever said Slim Shady on a track was on We Shine with the Ruckus.
No shit.
That's the first time he ever mentioned Slim Shady. That was before the Slim Shady EP came out.
Right.
Hey, you know, MOB and Fifth Mile Productions was actually making CDs back in the day with those old songs on there, pressing them up,
You know how I know that? Because I was Shane Capone's roommate.
Oh yeah, speaking of Shane Capone, somebody did say his name in the comments.
Stayed in an apartment.
No, he had a house in Centerline. And homeboy from Fifth Mile, what was his name?
Big Shug.
Shug was Bug's cousin.
Oh, okay.
People didn't know that. They were first cousins.
I just know him from the hood because we from the same area.
Rest in peace, Big Shug, bro.
Yeah.
That's another guy I miss. That dude, his life got ended too quick.
Her pussy smells. I had the bed.
What were you saying about Shane Capone? The racist?
Somebody had asked about him, asked how you met Shane Capone. Somebody had asked that in the chat.
Well, if I had met him now, it would have been at a KKK rally.
Oh, all right.
That's how he gets down. I met him through Uncle Ill, I want to say. And then Uncle Ill wanted me to connect with him because Shane wanted beats for the 5150 or album or the MOB album, whatever it was, because he wanted me to make beats for Suge and make beats for him and make beats for this other guy that was going solo in his group. So I did beats for him, and then I got kicked out my crib at one point, and then I went to live with him, and then I basically just made beats as my rent.
That's what's up.
You know, and so he got a lot of beats out of me out of that. But then he had a major. Then he just had this major issue with Eminem, Paul Rosenberg, and then he started this whole shit that D12 and them were racist and, you know, and all this stuff. And it was like holding down Whitey and all this stuff. And then he turned into the certified white boy, you know, and started doing like, I don't know, man. He just turned into this super racist type dude, and nobody really fucks with that guy anymore. But
there ain't no place in hip hop.
Yeah, he started doing he started acting like Haystack.
Well, because he was around Haystack, that was his boy.
Because I remember
They thought that Eminem was he thought Eminem was him back from getting a record deal, and he wasn't. I can tell you this for a fact. When I got signed to Geffen, right before I got signed, Shane and I owned Rock City Records together.
I remember that.
I gave Shane 100% of my 50% of Rock City. Just gave it up. Signed it off with a lawyer. Here you go, dog. You can have it. Have all of it. So anything I did, beats-wise, publishing-wise, you can have all of it. I did a Dr. You can have everything. And then I went and signed to Geffen. When I signed to Geffen, I was still boys with Shane, even though I gave him Rock City. I went and got my own shit with Geffen. Shane was asking me to get on my album. I said, all right, dude, I got 5 joints for you. So he flew to LA. Actually, I flew him to LA. I flew him to LA. He came to live with me in the valley. I gave him 5 beats and said, here you go. Do what you can with these. Come up with something. He couldn't come up with one of them. Couldn't rap to any of them. I was like, bro, if you can't rap to any of these, you ain't no rapper.
Right.
Because it was. So the one that I know one of those tracks made the album, and it Rock Shit. And on Rock Shit, I got Beretta and Lowdown on that album, on that song. Okay. So it could have been Hush and Shane and Beretta and Lowdown. But Shane said, oh, I can't rap to that. I can't rap to these other ones. I can't rap to this. And I'm thinking, well then, fuck you then. Like, you ain't no rapper, dog. If you can't rap to this shit, like, bro, fuck, get the fuck on. Like,
right.
Everybody I gave a beat to that was on that album, they were so happy to just be a part of it because we were friends.
Right.
Man, real talk. M didn't charge me for nothing. He gave me 2 beats off strength. He did the hook on Off to Tijuana. They let me use the skit from Criminal without publishing free. Like, M didn't have to do that.
I don't know. That's dope.
M and I connected on Hush Is Coming. He did Hush Is Coming, the beat, and we both at the same time said we were talking about who should do the hook. And without each other knowing, both of us said Nate Dogg at the same time. We had that shit. I had that shit written down on a paper.
Yeah.
We opened that shit up. It said Nate Dogg. Yeah, I mean, it was just like, you tell me who you're thinking of, I'll tell you who I'm thinking of type thing. Right. So, you know, like, that's how that album came out. And here is Shane. First of all, I paid to fly you out to get on a track that I don't have to do anything for you. But I'm trying to look out for my people, and I give you 5 joints, and you can't rap on any of them.
Right.
Then you go into this whole fuck white rap, like fuck black people, fuck all these black rappers, and fuck fuck Jay-Z, fuck Eminem, fuck Dr. Dre, fuck D12, fuck. It was just like, dude, you are.
Them dudes he was imitating his older material.
Bro, he was on songs with Swifty. He was on songs with Bizarre. He was on songs with me. He was on songs with. He was trying to get there.
I heard songs when he was actually sounding like Pac on. He was
dude. Yes.
Actually sounding like he was from the West Coast.
Oh, my enemies with my drinking Hennessy. He was doing all that.
MOB fucking ICP.
MOB fucking ICP. Like, yeah,
like supposed to be.
Yeah,
from a motherfucking city.
Yeah, he was rapping all that.
That's funny, dog. What do you think about? Because we had spoke with Los about this. What do you think about Kid Rock? He had brought it up. moving like
Fuck him
crazy.
too, dog. Fuck that
Out there in
dude.
Tennessee and shit.
Let me tell you, I did a diss. You can look it up on YouTube. It's called Walk Away. Fuck that dude. I did a diss a long time ago. That dude's a fucking bitch. He's a clown. I can't stand him. I'll tell you why I think of that, and that's we had known each other since we were 15 years old. He used to DJ my high school on Saturdays. You know, we'd have icebreakers and shit. He would DJ it. Him and a black man. They'd show up with furs on and shit. And I thought that was the shit.
Black
you know, he showed up with a fucking caddy on Dayton's. You know, I mean, he was like that. I'm like, I know that guy. Like, we hang out, you know, like I was that guy, pumping him up to all our friends and whatever. But at one point, one of our friends, his name is Clausel, he went to high school with me. And he was friends with Kid Rock also. He was 17 years old. We were 17 years old, 16, 17. And Clausel was in a car accident with my boy Danny Fortenberry. And they hit a pole and Clausel got killed. And that night that he got killed, Kid Rock was DJing. And everybody was sad. Everybody had heard about it, whatever. Never really was talked about again. And his little brother, Butterball, was like friends with us, Jim. Like, we all hung out together. Everybody knew him and all that stuff. Well, years later, I seen Kid Rock at Devil Without a Cause record release party at State Theater. And I was backstage with Paradigm and him. And I leaned over to him because he knew me. And he knew me also because he just knew me. He also knew me from the scene.
Right.
Being in the scene and being around Champtown. And Champtown and him was cool at one point, but then Champtown and him fell out. And I was rocking with Champtown, and Champtown and I had been on his stage before. And
who Kid Rock ain't fell out with?
Right, and me and Champ had Kid Rock's whole crowd yelling "fuck ICP,"
Right.
and Kid Rock got mad at us for doing that. And then I seen him at Devil Without a Cause record release party, and I leaned over to him, and we're all drinking, you know, and I leaned over to him and I said, "Hey man, like, congrats on all your success. We've known each other since we were 15." I said, it's just crazy that Clausel isn't here to see this because he would have loved to see you make it. You know, this was, you know, your dream was his dream too. You know, he wanted to see you make it, man. He was a good friend to all of us and all that.
Oh, Kid Rock, you know who taught how to write? You know who taught Kid Rock how to write and how to produce?
Black man.
Black man and Eshawn.
Eshawn, Kid Rock, because they was all in the clique together. Beast Crew. And Kid Rock leans over to me and he goes, "You just blew my high." And walked away from me. And I was like, okay. And so from that point on, it was fuck Kid Rock. So then it got crazier because Paradigm ended up going on tour with him for Devil Without a Cause. And Paradigm would play my album, Roses and Razor Blades, on the bus.
Right.
Kid Rock would take my CD and throw it out the window. Every time. And Paradigm would be like, "Dude, what's up with you, Bob? Like, this motherfucker hates you." And I told him the story, and he was like, "Yeah, he's fucked up for that." And so years later, I'm at an Uncle Kracker record release party in LA. I'm at a party, and I show up with this Pussycat doll, and I'm talking with Uncle Kracker, Beetlejuice from Howard Stern Show, and David Spade.
Okay.
And we're just like in this little group, just having the weirdest conversation, you know, like it's just craziest shit ever. Well, Kid Rock shows up to this party. Not only does he show up to this party, he shows up with a Pussycat doll that's in the same group as the girl I'm with.
Right.
He walks up, and you know, I was feeling myself. I just got signed to Geffen Records. You know, I got a major label, you know, deal out of it. You know, M was happy for me. You know, M and I were on sister labels, but Jimmy Iovine signed me. Right. So it was like, you know, M was all, everybody that was around me was all, you know, supportive and pushing me up.
Right.
I see this motherfucker, he don't got 2 words to say to me. So Cracker goes, Bob, you know Hush, right? And he does this to me. I looked at Cracker and I said, I'm out of here. And I walked away. I went to the studio and I did a song called Walk Away. Because at the time he was supposed to be dating Pamela Anderson or some shit.
Yeah.
So I dissed him on this song Walk Away. Well, Cracker got wind of the song and he had heard it and he was like, dude, you gotta take that down. If Bob hears this, dude, he's gonna fucking throw a fit. It's not gonna be good. And I'm like, dude, I'm not worried about that guy. He's a bitch. Like, I can't stand that motherfucker. Like, fuck him. Like, I don't have a rap beef with this guy.
Right.
I have a personal beef with this guy. We've known each other since we were young. Like, and then the bitch acts like you don't even fucking know me.
Right.
You know, instead of like, he's got so much of an ego. He's got to say his name in every rap 10 times.
Yeah.
He do.
You know what I mean? He does. And that's, you know, we know that's not what you do. You know what I mean? You got to stay humble in the game. And when you from Detroit, first of all, bitch, you ain't even from Detroit. You're from Romeo.
Romeo, 32 mile grass shit.
You go cow tipping and shit. Like, you still supposed to give it up to everybody that's around you.
Yeah.
He don't got it like that. Mm-hmm. He don't have it in him to big up anybody.
Right.
So, and I say all this because, dog, this is hip hop.
Yeah.
This is what it is. In hip hop, we just keep it real. You know what I mean? We tell these stories because this is the stories that need to be told. This is stories that ain't never been told. You know, if somebody needs to tell them.
I knew homeboys. I got homeboys that I know personally that Eminem, that Kid Rock done slept on their couch. They done protected them from the wolves and everything.
So do I. My boy James Gady's one of them.
My homeboy 3D. I done heard stories from Jack. We done heard stories from Jack Frost. We done heard stories.
Oh, Jack Frost got stories, bro. Jack Frost was there during them whole pre-jive days, bro.
Yeah, and West Chill. I used to live around the corner from West Chill.
Awesome Dre's got stories on
DJ
Kid
Rose
Rock.
was the one that said it. No matter how country he want to go, he can't erase his past. He was like, he said it, Bobby, I was there. I know what you was doing back in the days. You was DJ and all that shit. I was right there.
Let me tell you what I saw. I was at my boy James' house one day. I watched Kid Rock smoke crack out of a Coke can.
Oh shit.
That's why Eshawn called him Speedball Bob.
Yeah. And I think Royce said some shit that he was gonna cut Yellowwood's head off and throw it on Kid Rock's lawn or some shit. Like fucking, I forgot what on that slaughterhouse track. He said something like that. Around him, I don't remember the exact bar, dog, but I remember he was like.
As a matter of fact, Eshawn have a song called Speedball Bob.
Yeah, that's what Champtown calls him.
Speedball Bob. Well, shit, we getting close to. We already over the time limit, but it seems like we've only been talking for a minute.
But you listen to Kid Rock's lyrics, he let you know he getting high. Like on Bull God, that's about doing heroin. That's about it. About shooting up.
No, we know, yeah. But I wanted to ask you before we got out of here, because it's definitely an honor to have you on here. We're glad you came on. But is there anything outside of the music you want to talk about that you've done for the city of Detroit? Anything like that you want to put out there?
I mean, you know, around 2010, like 2009, 2010, I was working for Discovery Channel. And I was trying to, I was working with a producer. We were trying to find a TV show, something we could create out of Detroit, because I was connected into that world, the TV world, with a lot of good people. Mark Burnett being one of them. My boy Bruce he created Pimp My Ride. So a lot of people. So I got connected with this woman, Monica Martino, and we were going to create a show about saving the stray dogs in Detroit. And I grew up with stray dogs my whole life. They had always been around, in the hood. So I grew up with dogs myself. So we started a film. We got Discovery Channel to, foot the bill. They bought us some video cameras, and we went just filming stuff. And then I filmed a dog. It was wintertime. I filmed a stray dog, eating a frozen puppy. And it, like, breaking through the ice and like eating this dog. Like, and it was just so bad. Like, it couldn't find no food, and here it was, like, literally spaghetti eating this. And I filmed the whole thing. And we turned that into Discovery Channel, and they were blown away. They couldn't believe that was actually going on in real life. And so we put together a show, and then pitched it to, Discovery Channel was down to do the show. And then they pitched it to the city of Detroit. The city of Detroit, Dave Bing, the mayor, he shut me down.
Oh.
So he shut me down, and then I took my crew, which consisted of my DJ and friends of mine, and we, no joke when I say this, we literally stormed the mayor's office. Like, walked past his secretary, the lady that lets you in the door to see him, and like walked past her and opened up the door and was like, "Where's the mayor at?" And he was in a meeting with city council at the time. So my crew went down to the city council meeting, and left me at the mayor's office because the film liaison was there. And she came out, and she basically was like, this is the reason why we can't do no film, and the mayor doesn't want any reality. And I said, well, this is, we're here to help clean up the city in these strays. You've got 50,000 strays on the books in your, when you do the, what do you call the census? The census shows that there's 50,000 strays roaming the streets. I mean, and you'd be hard pressed not to find a stray dog. We walk out of here right now, nearest alley, you're going to find a dog somewhere.
Right.
And they try to say there wasn't no stray dog epidemic in Detroit. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, you must not have grew up in Detroit, because where do you think all these stray dogs come from? All these people breeding dogs in the hood, and when they get to a certain age and nobody's bought their puppies, they just put them on the street. Their mama don't want them. Their grandmama don't want them. Their auntie don't want them. Shit, they can't have them in the house. Shit, they ain't got no dog houses. They just put them bitches out. So, they just grow up in the streets. So I said, fuck it. And I said, let's just create a nonprofit, and let's just do what we do. We put that video out on my YouTube channel, and it went viral. And overnight, I'm not joking, overnight we had 10,000 views. Now for YouTube, that was like 2010.
Right.
I mean, that was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
YouTube was kind of fresh.
Right.
And so it went viral. It went all around the world. I started getting emails from everybody. Yeah. I mean, big people, little people, Al Gore's people even contacted me.
Wow.
But then I was getting people who wanted to help donate. So we hurried up. We created a PayPal account. People started donating. I had $20,000 in 24 hours. And I had something to work off of. So it was like, all right, cool. And then I leveraged my media contacts with CNN and NBC and all these people, and so did my partner, Monica. She was connected. And we got on Brian Williams' show on MSNBC. And then it was on NBC Nightly News on Friday. And when he did the interview with us on Friday, I had $100,000 in my account the next day. The Saturday, I had 50 more thousand. Sunday, we had 75 more thousand. Now, mind you, they're playing this shit all weekend.
Right.
Monday come, they replay it. Brian Williams is flipping out because we've got $200,000 almost. He can't believe that his show has got us that much money.
Right.
He said that's never happened to him in his entire career, that his show has ever helped a rescue or anybody raise that kind of money. So he played our interview. He played our interview again that Monday, and we got another 75,000. So before you knew it, we had 225,000 in the bank in less than 4 days.
Damn.
And so we took that and was like, okay, we're gonna start this rescue, start this nonprofit, and we went out rescuing stray dogs, building dog houses, delivering hay, delivering dog food to people, paying for vet costs, you know, dogs that were hurt or injured. You know, if you wanted to put your dog down, we'd take it from you and then get it rehomed. We were starting a no-kill so that nobody would kill a dog.
Right.
You know, and youth have euthanized. So we did all that. And, you know, I basically, in the 4.5, 5 years that I was there, because I left it in 2015, raised $3.5 million.
That's dope. Yeah, because
I rescued over 750 to 800 dogs myself.
That's dope as fuck. Yeah, because I remember, I think I seen you on Fox 2 a few years
Oh,
ago.
I was always on Fox 2. Those are my people. Root Rods, Amy Lang, Charlie Langton. They all, Charlie LaDuff is good friends with me. You know, the Fox 2 was my friend. They always would put me on. They still put me on. You know, I had a show, you know, a couple months ago. They put me on, you know, in the morning. So, you know, it was something that the goal was to open up the first no-kill rescue center in Detroit's history, and we did that. Councilman Spivey, you know, he said a prayer and was there for that, the grand opening of that. And since then, it's gone on to bigger and better things. A few weeks ago, and a person who started out as my volunteer coordinator, that I eventually gave a job to, like who would actually get paid weekly from it. I left the rescue to her to run in 2015.
Okay. So
and yeah, so she's done wonderful things. You know, I mean, at the time, you know, sometimes you have ups and downs with rescues. My whole mission was to open up the first no-kill and do all that and to save the stray dogs. And I completed my mission. That was my mission. Now they have to find a new mission, you know, as far as that goes. So that's part of what this new rescue is. I mean, it's been 8 years since I left, but it's still there. It's still thriving. It's still going strong. I named a first center after my security, my bouncer at the time. He was like my bodyguard when I had my record deal, and then him and I became friends. I named it the Calvin Cash Boarding Center.
Okay.
And so that was the name of the first. I dedicated it to him in his name because he was our security when we'd go out in the hood looking for stray dogs. That man knew all the connects in every hood. So I knew the east side. That's my hood. So I know everybody.
Right.
But Calvin knew the west side, and he knew, you know, certain gang streets and whatever. He would go in there, talk to the big guys, and say, "Yo, look, Hush is coming through. Y'all know Hush. He ain't coming here for no trouble. You know, so if you see him and his crew, and they walk through an alley or they walk in between houses, you know, vacant lots or whatever, they just looking for dogs.
Yeah.
They gonna leave y'all alone." And he was my man, and he always took care of us. So, you know, I named it after him, and now they've got a new center. I don't know what they've named it, but you know, it's another place. It's a state-of-the-art facility also. So they're continuing to do exactly what I created, along with my friend Monica. You know.
I'm glad you got to put that out there. I want to make sure you put that out there because it's something you did, like more artists need to do stuff for the city. I think like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done bottle and you know, recyclable drives. You know, I've done coats for kids. I used to have a thing called Hush for the Holidays. That on, you know, every winter people would give us coats or give us canned food. We donate, go down to Gleaners. You know what I mean? And do all that. I helped out with, you know, I did Habitat for Humanity before, you know, or I helped them plant trees in the urban garden. So every artist should be attached to their community in some sort of way. They have to find their niche or what they like, because not everything, you know, some people don't like being around, you know, trees and plants and shit. You know, maybe they're allergic, or some people don't like dogs, you know what I mean? But there's something, I guarantee there's something you like, you know, that you can find and that you can attach yourself to that doesn't take too much of your time that you know, but emotionally, you know, as far as getting attached is just something that, you know, you kind of just, you know, you got to just deal with. So, yeah, that's that, bro.
That's dope, dog. And I salute you for that, for real. That's dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But like I said, we're way past the time, but that's all.
Yeah,
good.
man.
It's been dope.
Yeah, it's all good. I gotta bounce anyway.
But,
I gotta get back on this keyboard and get back on these beats. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, keep working. That's what I was saying. You want to?
Yes, sir.
Put anything else out there, like when the album's dropping? Anything else? Any show? Anything you got coming up? Anything?
I'm working on a show right now. I'll let y'all know when that's coming up. You know, I'm working on maybe a fall show, late summer show. You know, and I'm working on this 718-2313 Volume 2 album with Bobby J from Rockaway. You can find him at Bobby J from Rockaway, or you can find me on Instagram at Hush313, Twitter at Hush313. You know, my Facebook, my Twitter, all that stuff is all connected to my Instagram. So anything that, if you go to my Instagram, you see exactly what you're gonna see everywhere else. But yeah, man, I'm thinking about putting out an instrumental and just let's see who, you know, let everybody grab the beats and rock with it, see who does what they can do with it. And that's about it, bro.
That's dope. That's dope. And it's good to see that you're still doing it, still making moves, still working and shit.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, just you know what, man, you can be at the top, you can fall. Like rap, the culture of rap has its peaks and valleys. You got to know how to survive in it. You know what I mean? But one thing I can say is stay busy. It doesn't matter what it is. I work for Delta Airlines also. You know what I mean? So I fly for free. I have fun. I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like a lot of dope people I met at the airline. I've been there for 6 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just it keeps my head straight, you know, and it keeps me humble.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of people out here like Sadat X. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of people that got other. You know, rap is just something I love at this point, man. You know, like
hell, I'm a cook and it's chef.
Yeah. It's, you know, rap is passive income for all of us.
Right.
You know, and I've made enough, you know, in this business to where I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm all right. My kids, you know, my kids got their lives, and kids and you know, I've got three adults at this point. You know what I mean? So they're living their life, and I live for them. You know what I mean? And I live for Detroit hip hop, bro, and this culture, and just trying to progress what we do further. So I hope I've done that, and I hope I just continue to be inspired to do that, because people inspire me all the time.
Yeah, no, definitely, most definitely. It was definitely an honor to have you on here. You're definitely.
Oh man, shout out to you for having me on here, man. Appreciate you for real. Means a lot.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. This is Hush, y'all. Make sure you check
Yes,
out.
sir.
Put some links down there, but you can find him everywhere. Hush 313 everywhere. I mean, he's everywhere. Like I said, legend.
Yes, sir.
If you ain't up on Hush or the Ruckus or any of that, make sure you get up on it. I'm gonna play the video before we get out. That another video. So, thanks for joining us, Hush, and we hope to have you back. And anything you got to promote, we got you. You know what I'm saying? We'll shoot.
No doubt, man. I'll come back anytime.
All right, much love. Hush in the
All right,
building,
bro.
Salute. That was Hush. Shout out to Hush. Detroit fucking history. It's good to see fucking Detroit shining right now. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to, I pulled up some of them screenshots. Yeah, that was also with Blatonio was in the D, all three in the D. I think I actually got some pictures here with me and Brother King X. Let me see. Oh shit, I didn't pull them up here. I only sent the ones with that punk ass Tony Cox manager and shit. A couple.
Hey, I just found out about the show they about to have, bro, in June. With Big Hurt, Lil Easy E, whole bunch of people, bro.
I wonder if that's damn, that might be what Lil Easy E's waiting for, because I know he said he was down to do the show. So maybe that's what he's waiting for, coming to Detroit. Now, well shit. Who we got coming up next? I don't even know who we got next. We got some dope shit. Like I said, we missed Wednesday night, but it's been real busy. It was a real busy week this week.
It's Big Hurt, Big Hurt, Murder Pain, Lil Easy E.
Oh, Murder Pain, yeah.
Yep.
What's the date on that?
Easy E, Big Money Blue, L Nuke, Murder Pain, L Nuke, Lil Easy E, Big Hurt, Day Day Badass, Friday, June 30th at Club Echelon on and Warren.
That's what's up. Shit, that's worth checking out for sure. Most definitely. Shout out Big Hurt. Shout out Rock Bottom. Shout out Jay Nutty, Rock, all them guys. Shout out Street Lords. Shout out Eastside Cheddar Boys. I'm gonna go ahead and play this track again in case y'all missed it. Featuring Nate Dogg and Eminem's in the video. D12. Hush is coming. I played it at the beginning of the show. I'm gonna play it again. We didn't really get much music because Hush tapped right in almost like within 15, 20 minutes after I started and shit. So this was actually, we had Hush on here for almost shit longer than Cuban Link. Shit, I think longer than Nip and Dice. And we had them on for they were like our longest interviews and shit. So that was dope. And I mean, he talks about that shit like it's just like nonchalantly. Like, yeah, I was just with one of the Pussycat Dolls, you know what I'm saying? And then Kid Rock comes in with one of the Pussycat, like, I mean, that Hollywood lifestyle, but that's real and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's still in Detroit, and he didn't let that Hollywood shit get to him like some of these motherfucking rappers doing shit. And then their heads get big like Bobby, and like fucking this little fucking, that one little dude we about to expose and shit. His manager needs to stay the fuck out my inbox if you watching this. But I want to send out shout out to the BX while we doing this right now. Shout out Cuban Link. Shout out Panda Chop. Shout out Goya. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Charlie Rock LD. But shout out to the real motherfuckers from Terror Squad. Rest in peace, Big Pun. And shout out to his wife. Shout out to his son. Check out Chris Rivers if you haven't. That's what he raps under and shit. He's a dope ass MC and shit. I don't know if y'all heard him. If you haven't, you need to get up on him. He's a dope ass MC. Get ready to have him on the Hood Smokers podcast too and shit. So we went from having almost all West Coast, Detroit, and down south to now we're starting to get that New York. Like, it just took us a minute to start getting love from NYC. It was because the gatekeeper motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? We had to rock with the real ones and shit. You just got to.
Right.
It was, some of them was like, man, fuck that hating shit. And y'all know who we talking about. We don't even need to mention their names, and we exposing you, Tony Cock, you already know and shit, dog. So get ready, motherfucker. We just got, I'm gonna make sure that shit's done right. And it was a busy week. Blatonio flew in from Arizona. Brother Marquise flew in and shit. There was a lot going on. We got to hang out down there. We went to a bar downriver. We should talk about this story when we got Blatonio out here, but we'll tell the people tuning in right now and shit about the when I went up to the jukebox. We was in there eating this shit.
And they had time on there.
Yeah, I threw E-Shot out and that shit. It was like a bunch of country motherfuckers in there. That shit came on banging, blasting and shit off closed casket. But they turned it down quick.
All you heard was boom, boom, boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.
Yeah. Dog, yesterday Blatonio was like, I miss Detroit already and I ain't even left yet. Like, dog, he was at the casino last night with Dyson Los, DJ Los. He was chilling with Jack Frost earlier and shit. I mean, shit, he's planning on coming back this summer. He was talking about that show Los is DJing, the one at the Fox. Definitely got to hit that because I know Southwest CC will be down the road. You know, that's more like that's more for the grown folks. You know what I'm saying? That type of show.
Yeah.
Well, who's all on that? EPMD, KRS-One, Slick Rick. I forgot who all. Wasn't Curtis Blow on there? I'm not sure. Who's all on? There's a lot of motherfuckers on that show.
Ice-T on there.
Yeah. There's a lot of motherfuckers on there, though. It's going to be 50 years of hip-hop. It's the celebration at the Fox Theater this summer. I think it's in June. But Blatonio's talking about coming back up. So if y'all missed him when he was in Detroit this last time, I figured he should be touching down about now. His plane left at 7:30. He said it was like a 3-hour flight. It's after 10:30. So Blatonio, if you're tuning in, just tap in on the Discord. I figured my phone died, and I'll show you. My phone's dead, or I'd fucking hit him up real quick and see if he's back, how his flight went and shit. Tell him tap in real quick. Maybe you can shoot him a message, Brother King X, while I'm playing this video and shit. See if he's back, if he made it to Tucson yet. Because I think he was flying into Phoenix. And so he still had to drive. So maybe he can tap in while he's riding back to Tucson from Phoenix from the airport. But I'm gonna jump into this track. This video, it's got Eminem in it. It's got Nate Dogg on the hook. This is Hush. Hush is coming. Let's get it on the Hood Smokers podcast. Slim Shady. Shout out to Hush. Yeah, he shared some shit, like he said, some stories y'all might not ever have heard. You know what I'm saying? I heard some shit I never heard, though. That was pretty dope. Detroit history, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of hip-hop history. We got a lot more to come. Just keep tuning in every Wednesday and Saturday night. Make sure you hit that notification bell, too, because, you know, we might go on an off day. Sometimes we go on off days. If you want to be a guest, get at us. All that's in the description below. You can get at me, Brother King X, or Blatonio, Todd, if you want to donate to the show or whatever. We got big things coming, you know what I'm saying? A lot of big things to announce. We just getting started, you know what I'm saying? So, and I want to shout out to Drink Champs, you know what I'm DJ EFN. Shout out Drink Champs, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Lee, what up, though? Shout out Miami, what up, though? We plan on shooting down to Miami. Hood Smoker Podcast in Miami, Hood Smoker Podcast in LA. Shout out to Lynch Mob. I noticed Black C had tapped in a little bit while we were live. So shout out Black C too from the RBL Posse and shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to get him on here again. Black C. Shout out to the DOC if you tuning in. But we got him coming. Get ready for that. That's coming in May. It's already official. When I got the flyer promo video, all that, you know we gonna drop it. So and stay tuned. Anything you want to tell the people, Brother King X?
Nah, just pretty much everybody keep tuning in to the Hood Smokers Podcast. Don't be afraid to send us a cash app as a donation, because your donation let us know that you like the content and the guests that we bring.
Exactly. Real talk. And it's appreciated. And that it's all love. You know what I'm saying? We do it for hip hop. We do it for Detroit. We do it for just hip hop in general, but you know we always gonna do it for Detroit. It's the hometown, home team. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that tuned in, all the viewers. And Tony Cock, don't think that we ain't forget. Don't think that you gonna bully us, dog. We don't get bullied. We cut from a different cloth here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? We the home of the no-fly zone. We created all that shit. We created the verse everybody. Wasn't nobody saying verse everybody till Detroit said Detroit verse everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna come bully Detroit artists. You picked the wrong ones. You might try to come and bully some motherfuckers that think they need you to make it somewhere in this game, but they don't. Now with the internet and everything like that and all these podcasts, I think Cuban Link said it best. He could do 1,000 underground interviews and get just as much views, people seeing them out there, than one episode of one of these mainstream platforms. You know what I'm saying? So,
If anybody know their history of Detroit is not easily bullied. Look what happened to Al Capone when he came in here and tried to take over the liquor trade. They shut him down.
The Hell Angels
tried to come. They shut him down.
Yeah.
And Detroit ain't having it.
Nah. We ain't the city to bully, that's for sure. So you can go on somewhere, name dropping motherfuckers, fucking while Lil Joey, your motherfucking P. Diddy over there waxing that ass and shit. You can keep dick riding. We ain't dick riders this way, you know what I'm saying? We don't rock with that. Fuck that. So we is gonna expose you, so don't forget that. We is gonna expose you. We got some funny shit, and I got him to admit it. I showed the screenshot of that. He said he was only 15. Like I said before, like when me, you, and Jamal was talking, Brother King X, like 15, you gonna let a motherfucker slap you with their dick? Come on, man. That motherfucker be in the ground, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, let me come home at 15 telling my parents some shit like that, bro.
That's what I mean, dog. You can't come back from that. You can't be gangster, so cut it out, dog. Quick, stay out my inbox. You talking about, we're gonna show you what they do behind the scenes. You think these guys, they mainstream and they wanna, and they coming at what? We just an underground podcast, right? Ain't that what he said? We an underground, low budget podcast. Why you so pressed about us exposing? I already put it out there, dog. Tony Sunshine, you on the no-fly zone, dog. You heard it from me, Gutta and shit, because I'll be waiting for you at the airport if I get word you come to Detroit, motherfucker. I already know you a little fella. You don't want these hands. And I heard stories, dog. You hiding behind bars while Terror Squad scrapping it out. You screaming like a little bitch. But we's trying to stay positive, you know what I'm saying? But you came at us first, you know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to show that one screenshot. They jumped in my inbox. I ain't fucking jumping they shit. They jumped in my shit in the Hood Smokers podcast inbox. Right here, you can see it right here talking about you funny. Lost depressed. That's the manager. You can look him up. Yo, any Hood Smokers out there? Look this motherfucker up and tell him to go eat a dick. Nah, he probably like that. Lost depressed.
Drop me an invite.
Yeah, with his punk ass. Come to Detroit, motherfucker. He talk shit about the hood. I mean, hip hop is from the hood. How you gonna dog the hood and shit? Say y'all motherfuckers in the hood, fuck the hood. Da, 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 da. I've been out the hood for over 2 decades. This and that. Like, how you? So you saying fuck the hood? You saying fuck your hood? You saying hip hop is from the hood? And like they said, like hip hop originally, like rap music was for the mainstream, but hip hop as a culture is for the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you can get on with that, but technically, I guess. He's an R&B singer, but really R&B, I mean, it's for the hood too and shit. But he's a washed-up R&B singer that got slapped with a cop, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So yeah, we gonna have all the details, all the receipts, like the kids say today, the receipts. We got the receipts. You know, we ain't gonna put nobody on blast on the Hood Smokers podcast list. It's for sure. We ain't done it too much. We had to do it a couple times, and you see, we silenced them motherfuckers. And so it is what it is. We don't look for it, but if it comes looking for us, we ain't gonna run from it, and we ain't gonna be bullied. That's for sure. And you ain't gonna dictate who we interview or none of that. We do what the fuck we want to do over here. You know what I'm saying? But much love, brother King X, Blatonio, Todd. I know you're gonna watch this on the replay. Hope you got a safe travel. Hope you landed. I'll probably talk to you later tonight. But much love, everyone tuned in. Salute, brother King X.
Salute.
Much love. We out of here. The Hood Smokers podcast. Make sure you check out that Brother King X single too. And we got another one dropping, right?
Yep, got another dropping real soon.
Yep, so get ready for that.
I ain't even got a release date. I might just release as soon as I get the artwork. And I don't know.
Yeah. We got to get some of these we want to be working on, I want to put it out there now, live on the air. We're going to be working on a Hood Smokers podcast mixtape with the legends we've had on the show. So anybody that's watching this, any legends, anybody MCs that want to be a part of that, get at us. Like I said, all our contact info to me, you can get at me, Brother King X, Blatonio Todd. It's all down there in the description below. And go check out Hush too, man. He got some dope shit. He got a documentary thing that he was talking about with the about the dog rescue. That's on his YouTube page. I suggest y'all go check that out. Much love. All right, we out of this bitch. Much love. Salute.
Salute.
The Hood Smokers Podcast.
What up, though? Welcome to the Hood Smoker Podcast, the hottest #1 podcast based out of Detroit, Michigan. And now, with your hosts, Jay Gutta, Brother King X, Blatonio Todd, and the rest of the Hood Smoker Squad. We don't do no Vlad stuff. We don't do no Adam stuff. We keep packing in the legends, respect them, and keep adding up. So pack a blunt or two, maybe grab a brew and a snack for you, and leave behind your attitude, and get ready as we snap into the Hood Smoker Podcast.